enemy. I finally found you. Why are you in the body of the enemy? Ordinary, count you one by one. Electrocution, revolution, fight for what is wrong. Very, very ordinary, count you one by one. Electrocution, revolution, fight for what is wrong.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, everybody. That's Stout
Hi.
Man. I'm Skinslip. We're your hosts for Couch Tomatoes Movie Chat. I don't know why this is the worst Roper impression in the universe, but it is. It was until I gave it up, of course. Well, I think it just insists upon itself. Like, okay, Roper, sit the fuck down. Don't get any fucking ideas, Roper. Sorry. Not talking shit about Roper. He's fine. Whatever. He's put in a hard place, replace Siskel. Like, how the fuck do you replace him, It's like, I don't blame him, That was probably the studio insisted they keep going. Or maybe he had to work out the rest of his contract. Ebert, I mean. Right? But,
Yeah.
like, that's gotta be a hard position to be put into. Like, fuck. You have to fill the shoes of one of the greatest duos of television film reviewing. Like specifically television. I mean, I think they were also. I mean, I know Ebert was a critic. I think Siskel was also the critic, but that's beside the point. The point being, a lot of us grew up with them on our televisions, and so in the spirit of the concept of that show that they rarely executed, we watch movies fairly. We talk about them. And we tell you about him. And I think Stoutman here got ganged up on. He got ganged up on because
Dogpile.
he was right. There's the word. He was dogpiled because he was right about cinematography.
Objectively correct, okay? I was objectively correct.
And there's no better correct than technically correct. And objectively correct.
No, they were the ones who were, like, technically correct.
They were not right either.
Well,
the problem is...
The dictionary definition doesn't fucking cover
very rigid and very specific.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
It doesn't
encompass
the breadth of film. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree, 100%. Which is why they kept parroting the one definition. I saw the thread. They're just I'm like, okay, great, but also it's a storytelling device.
Yes.
Like that's it.
Cinematography is a storytelling device.
If you don't believe, and the fact that some people don't believe so is those are the people who are like the pseudo-intellectuals. They're the kind of people who would like, not to pass judge on people who don't know, but like they're the kind of people who would say horror films are meaningless or just junk filler, and because they're too hoity-toity, too in their boxes, too in their staid. Dress. I have to all dress like a film guy. We all have to smoke cigarettes after the movie. We have to say all the pop culture stuff's crap and all the really weird stuff is cool. And
a lot of them honestly were
they're right sometimes, but
a lot of them were also people who were like the kind of people who learn how to make a movie, but not the art behind making a movie.
They're the ones who make movies without subtext. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look, I like Godzilla vs. Kong also, but like. Not every movie's gotta be like that. I love like look, I watched Wonder Woman 84. I watched Spider-Man No Way Home. Cried during both because of hormones, and also because I can relate to a lot of the things that they were talking about. Mm-hmm. But they weren't exactly subtextual or meaningful films, other than the things that I personally related to because of the shit I've gone through in life, not because they were trying to. It's not like it was like meaningfully connected to that kind of grief that I had to deal with in my life,
Yeah, it could have been, but
I don't think it was.
Find evidence for it. Yeah.
There's like breadcrumbs of subtext in Marvel movies, and I love Marvel movies, by the way. But there are breadcrumbs of subtext. We have to you can see all these articles about like this. This is the thing about this movie. Blah, blah, blah. Those people have watched that movie like 20 fucking times and literally picked breadcrumbs out of the bread box, well, like I said, I like the Marvel movies. I'm not talking bad about them. I'm trying to talk about them truthfully. Is they're about 6, 7, sometimes 8 stars, right around that window, out of 10.
I just want to be perfectly clear, like the tweet that I made that got me dogpiled and ratioed by these assholes.
You got ratioed? I don't know if we can hang out anymore.
It was in response to 4 fucking images from the Thor Love and Thunder trailer.
One of which is literally an exact copy from the comic book.
bring up Marvel movies.
And I don't mean like a reference. I mean like they plagiarized the background from the
I
comic
would
book.
say it's a reference. I'm okay with
It's not a
calling it
reference because it's not referencing. It's just an exact copy of the background from the comic book. Period. I'm talking about the background. Foreground's different characters, probably different context.
But
Background,
it's just one shot. That's the
yes.
thing. You can't really tell a
No.
whole lot about a fucking movie or a story.
I'm talking about that
from
one
fucking
specific shot. I'm just talking about that one shot that's plagiarism. That one shot. Now, Marvel is allowed to plagiarize from itself because it owns the original part,
exactly.
but it is the definition of plagiarism because there's nothing different about the background. It's literally people did side by side. It's exactly the same dimension. They literally traced it. It's not like they saw it and then they made it, recreated it. No, they fucking traced it. I'm not mad about that. I'm just saying the internet is in a tizzy about that. About the artist deserving to get paid rights for that.
Personally,
I'm like, I don't know.
well, yeah, the artist probably deserves to be paid rights for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But personally, I don't mind. But
I don't mind
way,
either. I'm just saying that's
my only
a thing.
point.
It's not a
was
reference.
that
That's all I was trying to say.
we were talking about cinematography, and that
Yes.
was what I was trying to say. Is that
Yes.
cinematography is a storytelling device, and that you cannot tell much about the story. You can tell a few little things here and there.
You might be able to pick
breadcrumbs,
some
as you mentioned.
breadcrumbs. Yeah, it's
Uh,
a still frame.
You can tell a few things from
trailer.
the still frame, but it's not really enough to discern much of anything about the story
I
in 4 still images from the trailer.
I will
And
say
that was my only fucking point, is that you can't call 4 still images from the trailer cinematography. It's like,
now I don't have a problem people admiring those things. People are just
yes, they're
what-
beautiful. They're beautiful shots.
I would say it's hard
There's
to
nothing wrong
unless
with them at
you've
all.
read a lot of comic books. It's hard to discern what's going to happen in that movie based on 3 minutes of footage that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, like, trust me,
It's-
there are a few
yeah.
people on Twitter who have put out like, I think this is gonna happen, burp, 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 and they're fucking probably spot on. There's got to be at least a few
Yeah.
because a lot of those movies are predictable hero arc movies. Once again, not knocking them. I actually like them, but they're all like hero rises, hero gets knocked down, heroes at the darkest moment finds the reason to go on. You know, it's like hero's journey shit. Also, I'm a little loud. There's some feedback from me over here. I can hear me talking in your ears.
Let me see if I can fix that.
It's just a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
Some of them just fucking loud right now, but you know, we're talking about movies. I get excited.
We both do. That's why we do this.
I love movies. I fucking love movies.
All right, can you still hear me? Or can you still hear you, I mean?
Yeah. No. La 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 la. No, I'm good now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So now,
Ugh.
if you can remember Bad Ben Mandela Effect, we watched this on a Wednesday. In fact, we watched this
Yeah,
literally.
I remember Bad Ben Mandela.
I'm sorry, we watched this on a Thursday. This is literally the day after we streamed.
Might actually be
last.
one of my favorite of the movies so far.
Ooh,
because
really?
It takes, because it brings back the fucking main guy, Nigel
Bach. Yep.
right?
Oh,
He
also
was
the sequel
maker-
to this too.
filmmaker, right?
Yep.
And he's the fucking reason I loved the original movie in the first place, and the reason I wanted to watch the rest of them, because he's so fucking hilarious.
And he's the
Like,
reason why the next film in the series, the Crescent Clown Murders, isn't as good.
So, like, the reason I liked this movie, the Mandela Effect, is because he's the main character in it, and it's basically like a few different versions of the story,
He
right?
doesn't show up till like after the first like 35 minutes. To be fair, he shows up later.
In Mandela Effect, I'm pretty sure it's him several times in the story. The
Mandela Effect.
clown one is the one
Oh,
where
Look, I'm
somebody
crossing
else.
some wires. All the Bad Ben films we're on like part 5 now, so it's like
Yeah.
our next film 6. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 still to do. I think. Like I think we're
There's
like
a
halfway.
10?
I think there's 10. Yeah.
There's a 10. There'll be an 11.
I mean, of course, Lingo. Look, there are 10 movies. We are halfway through the franchise. Bad Ben: The Way In is next, followed by The Short, which is 30 minutes. Bad Ben's Night Before Christmas,
I
which
want to buy
I have pulled up
collection of these movies, like a fucking
DVD set or something.
Vinegar Syndrome. Somebody needs to do a collection of these.
Just give me a single Blu-ray with all the movies in them, since they're all fucking DV cam anyway. They probably can all fit on one Blu-ray, to be really honest with you. And then there's Bad Ben's Night Before Christmas, which is a short, which I have open on YouTube. And then there's Bad Ben: The Haunted Highway, which is done in Nigel Box's garage. Bad Ben Pandemic, which is done on Nigel Box's laptop. And then Bad Ben B9, technically the 9th film, canonically the 10th, because Crescent Moon Killer is not a part. No, Steel Manville Road's not part of the franchise. Technically, I mean, as in like counted. They're not. It's not a numbered sequel. It's a side story. So
yeah, Mandela Effect though is the concept is that like the Mandela Effect. It's like this has happened before, hasn't it? And just basically very similar things keep happening at the house in all these different universes or whatever that Nigel Bach lives in. So the main character. So you get to see several different interpretations of the story, that like what it could have been if it were like this, what it could have been if it were like that, And
yeah, I remember it being very strange.
Each one I think is very funny, because you get to see the same character basically fucking yelling at ghosts over and over and over again. And that's what makes these movies great. That's what makes these movies fucking fantastic. Just gut-bustingly hilarious.
If you are a fan of classic dialogue such as "Knock it off, goddammit," and "What the fuck," and "What the," what was it? Was "What the shit"? I think he says "What the shit" is going on at one point. Like, I mean, like,
yes,
he literally just goes "Knock it off," and then the ghost leaves him alone temporarily.
Imagine slightly played down Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Yes.
Yelling at ghosts.
Yes. And the ghost is Bubbles, who's constantly annoying him. That's this fucking movie. This series. It's great. I fucking love it.
It's trashy, it's cheesy, it's low budget. Don't give a fuck.
But yeah, these movies. Pat, one little thing about cinematography. Like movies like Suspiria or Inferno, or like, fuck, what was the other movie I was thinking of? Black Swan. Those films are their stories driven by their cinematography. Their cinematography talks just as much about the movies as the rest of the story. Sorry, I backtracked to our opening talk because it just occurred. This is what we do. It just occurred to me like the thing I wanted to say then, and like that. So saying that it's not a plot, a storytelling device is wrong. It can be wrong. Oftentimes, when you get movies like 13 going on 30, not that it's a bad movie. It's just very by the numbers. There's not a lot of going on story wise with the other pieces outside the dialogue and the character action. So it's like that's very by the numbers, like, camera.
My argument is that simply it doesn't matter if it's good or bad cinematography. Simply by virtue of pointing the camera at the shit that you're recording and recording the shit that's happening, you are telling a story with the camera. That is cinematography.
And the light and the available light
doesn't add anything at all, any context at all to the story that's being told, is still cinematography, and it is still telling a story. Even bad cinematography.
I don't know. I don't think I think flat lighting isn't telling a story. I think it's just lighting things so we can watch the story, which is driven by the characters. Not that it's not important or visual, but it's literally like the framing. The device is you can see what's happening. It's very evenly lit.
Storytelling is still storytelling, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter if it's well told.
Yes, but I don't. But I don't think putting no effort into telling a story with your lighting results into you having a storytelling with your lighting. I think if you don't put the effort in, like say a Suspiria or Black Swan, or like name a Kurosawa film, like if you don't have the driving force to to tell the story with the lighting. Your lighting says nothing. It just illuminates things. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't think that's telling a story. That's the lack of telling a story.
Well, you're not telling a story with the lighting, perhaps, or with the fucking way that it's shot, or the angles that you're using. But
Correct.
you're still telling a story just by fucking recording. That's.
All right,
my
now we're
point of
technically,
view.
now we're just being
That's my
anal
point of
retentive
view.
technically. Don't. Well, technically, sit the fuck down. Anyway,
I'm just saying,
Bad
this
Ben,
is my opinion on it.
Bad Ben Mandela Effect. You're not gonna. All these movies are. Every last one of them are
Yes.
security cameras put up all around the house, and then you watch things unfold. There's no cinematography here.
They're really bad looking. They don't even look remotely real, by the way. The security cameras don't even
No,
look
they're-
remotely real.
In fact, after the
They
second
have
movie,
like the record thing, like
and actually, I think after the second movie, he stopped even doing that. I don't think Mandela Effect has the record thing. I think it's just you're 3 movies into this fucking franchise. You better figure that shit out. You know, it's like you know. You just watched Black Swan today. Well, I've been meaning to rewatch Black Swan. It's a beautiful movie. I just watched
amazing movie.
Millennium Actress and Perfect Blue, which are both big influences on those movies. And we also, Jess and I, I watched those two with a different friend, but we just watched The Red Shoes, another very influential film to Black Swan. You know, with its themes about obsession and ballet. And how the characters being manipulated by the male characters in the movie.
For sure, the Red Shoes absolutely inspired Black Swan. Like, there's no way Black Swan would have been made the way it was if the Red Shoes didn't exist. First.
Watching
You know what I mean?
Perfect Blue, I was like, there's no way Black Swan would exist without this movie. That's as much a foundational piece of that movie as the Red Shoes. It's very specifically Perfect Blue. With its like, just Millennium Actress, Perfect Blue. You should see those. I'd watch those again with you. You know, I just watched them this year. So like, you need to see those. I need to own those fucking movies. Back to Bad Ben Mandela Effect. Welcome to the show. We get sidetracked a lot.
Hell yeah.
I gave this a 5 out of 10. It's not the best entry. It's better than the set. It's better than Still Manville Road. It's worse than the first movie.
I think I gave it
In
a
my
6
opinion.
out of 10.
That's fair.
But that's just because I like these movies.
I do like these movies, but I'm giving them.
enjoying them.
I objectively speaking through my own objectivity, I'm giving them ratings based on each other. In comparison, Bad Ben Mandela Effect is significantly worse than say Airheads. A 6 out of 10 film, as an example.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
don't know, I'd
better
put it on the same
storytelling,
level, actually.
acting's better, the writing's better, literally everything is every
Ooh.
aspect. And that's not saying shit about Bad Ben. Bad Ben's a very low production value movie. It's not that's not entertaining because it is very entertaining. I very much enjoy it, but it pales in comparison to a similarly low budget, low brow film, Jackass Forever. We watched that.
Oh my god.
And they
That
just
movie
announced
was fucking
yesterday
hilarious.
Jackass 4.5, which is the midpoint, the extra footage from Jackass Forever.
I mean, of course they're going to do that. They always do that.
Hold on. Did they not use the number 4 and ever in their fucking... What the fuck? Look. I don't know who markets
They just call it
movies.
Jackass Forever.
Yeah, and it should say FOUR ever. God damn it. Because it's the 4th movie.
Or just the number 4 and then ever.
That too does. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they didn't use the number 4 at all.
And neither did Scream,
At
that
all.
fucking movie. But then I think, if I remember correctly, the Scream Blu-ray has the 5 in the as the final as the S in it or whatever. I'm like, oh, now you figure that shit out.
I think one of my favorite aspects of Jackass Forever was them like kind of like handing down the torch, so to speak, to
Yeah, they get new cast
a
members.
bunch of other and they did really good jobs. The new cast
And I really like those new cast members. Like, they filled similar roles, and It's kind of interesting, and there's
I
gonna
like the
be
guy bringing his dad in and like fucking torturing his dad, basically.
yes, that was great. And they already said they were gonna do another movie, so it's just I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know who's gonna be in it, like from the old cast, but the new cast will definitely be there. We'll see how those do. I mean, it's kind of hard not to fuck up. Person gets in funny contraption, gets hurt. Person gets punched in the face in a gag.
Yes.
Someone gets kicked in their nuts because it's hilarious. Like
It's very base
poop.
humor, yes.
Here, poop. That's one
but
theme.
it's still
Poop.
fucking hilarious.
There's always something in these movies about poop.
Yep.
We're gonna
And
get a
then
fifth one, 100%.
Bees.
Oh yeah.
Lots of bees.
Oh, the bees. Oh, the bees. That was really anxiety inducing for me. Like I was literally like on the verge of a panic attack. I was like, holy fuck. It's really stressful.
I mean,
I'm allergic to bees, and the idea of
oh.
it being on my bits is just terrifying.
That's why I was not too scared of it, because I'm not allergic to bees, and I've been stung before, and it doesn't really hurt all that much.
The
Not one
last
sting, at
time I
least.
got
One.
stung, I had a giant welt in the back of my neck, and I had trouble breathing.
Oh,
So he bit me
Jesus.
or stung me, and he like stung me, and I immediately like crushed him on my back like this. So I was like, ah, shit.
so you basically shoved the stinger in more. Wonderful.
And then someone pulled it out with tweezers, something you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to use like meat or whatever to like get it pull out or whatever. But
Or rub
so of
it
course
out.
that means a little bit of the
Yeah.
stinger went into my flesh, so I turned into a giant welt. Yeah.
Wonderful. Jesus. But also, like, I mean, I have watched videos of. I got into this thing a few years ago where I got like obsessed with watching honey drip. There are all these videos of honey dripping on YouTube, and they're because of
Is
like,
there a fetish you want to tell us about?
no, but beekeepers are putting up all these videos, right? And you see these beekeepers working around bees, and bees typically don't sting you. Like,
Yeah, I
they're
know.
not really violent. So it's actually kind of rare, even if you're a beekeeper, to get stung. And
I mean, Johnny
So
Knoxville,
it's
not
like-
Johnny Knoxville. Steve-O got stung like 2 or 3 times during that. at
Yeah.
least. But I mean,
so,
they're
like, but
agitating the
that's
bees.
because they were agitating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the only reason
Actively
probably
trying to piss the bees off.
the only reason the bee probably stung me is probably because my hair hit it or something. Like, you know. All right, so Jackass Forever. I give that 8 out of 10 because, like, honestly,
Yeah,
these movies, these movies
good.
always hit the right spot for me. It was just like ludicrous insanity and poor life choices and poop.
I think I like this one better than some of the other ones.
I liked it
But,
better than
I
3,
haven't
but
watched those in a while.
3.5 is really good. I liked 3 a lot though. I think 3 was like right. That's the one, yeah, okay. I'm remembering that one. That might be like I think each movie has just gotten better. Honestly, I just like
Yeah.
as they hone the craft, and like they really lean into some of the stuff people would rag on them about, like being homophobic, and they're like, or like people being homophobic would rag about them, and they lean into all that shit that people would complain about because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville said trans rights, so
Fuck yeah. That's good. It's a good thing.
yeah, exactly. I really like Jackass. It's not high cinema, but it's high fun.
Oh,
Next,
yeah.
we
These
rewatched.
So far, we're just starting with a bunch of movies that were just fun, you know?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
fun movies.
Next, a classic piece of action cinema, Speed.
Speed. Da, 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 doo, doo, doo.
Is that the music? I don't think
Yes.
I don't think I've ever. I don't remember.
Yes. This movie is one of my favorite fucking action movies. And I think it's
Very
because
good.
I watched it a lot of times on TV when I was a kid.
It's on TV all the time.
All the time. Oh my god.
All the
Every
time.
fucking weekend. Every weekend at least once.
Yeah,
On one of the major stations.
no joke.
It was fucking all over the place. And it got to the point I had seen it so many times that like I have like memorized certain lines from this movie. Specifically from Dennis Hopper. Pop quiz, hot shot, what do you do? Like Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would just say that randomly. But yes, it holds up, and I think that's why they kept playing it all the goddamn time. Because it's like maybe it's not the best fucking action movie you'll ever see, but
It's up there.
it's fun. It's a good
It's
one.
it's in
Yeah,
the top 50. It's in the top 25, I would say. It's up there
yeah,
like Die Hard. It's like just like it's so influential to like every other piece of cinema that came after it.
and it solidified Keanu Reeves as an action star too. Like,
Yeah. I mean, no, I mean like he was already an action star because of Point Break, but that just like I don't
yes,
think without Speed he would have seen him in Matrix.
yeah, we wouldn't have seen him in the Matrix. I don't think that he would be in even John Wick
No,
without this movie.
I think if
Honestly,
he had leaned into doing any other kind of film, he would be because he did My Private Idaho before he did like either of those films. So it's
I
like,
still need to see that movie, by the way.
oh, it's so good. I think it's on Criterion. We should
Yeah,
watch
you
it.
told me about that. Yeah.
Oh, can you give my tweet a retweet, please? Thank you.
Yes.
I always forget to tell you to do that. This is the first week of look. We've been doing this for months, over a year probably, and it's the first time I remembered to say something.
All right, there we go.
Gracias, senor.
So, what movie do we want to talk about next?
So the thing about Speed, like
Oh, Speed.
it's one of those things where while the character is telling you a thing, they're also showing you the thing. Like he's talking about the anatomy of the bomb, and then they're showing you the bomb as it's being taken apart, and you understand the anatomy. It's like really actually quite subtle storytelling in that sense. Like you just watch the movie and you're just like sucked into it. You know, I think if I really wish John DeMont, who was working on a Godzilla film after this, had gotten to make his Godzilla in 1994 because the Godzilla, I've seen the design for it, is so fucking cool. So sad that John DeMont didn't make Godzilla in 94. Probably wouldn't have been any better than 98 Godzilla, but like it's hard not to give Speed like a 7, like
Yeah,
or an 8
it's
even.
got everything. It's got 2 days to retirement guy. It's got
Angry Captain. It's got an angry captain. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's got the straight-laced sidekick cop, though he's just basically on the walkie-talkie most of this
Yeah.
movie. But you can tell that, like, if they were a buddy cop, that John Wick, I wanted to call him. Keanu Reeves' character would be like the one always breaking the rules and always like going out of his way to do things.
It's got explosions, but they're actually well paced, I would say. It's not Michael Bay kind of explosions in movies, right?
Yeah.
It's like here's an explosion, then there's a little more storytelling.
Some other
There's
action.
an explosion,
Yeah.
and there's another explosion, right? But like, yes, the moments of action are well placed throughout the movie, right?
I think it's a well paced movie. I think
Yeah.
John DeMont doesn't get enough credit for being good at pacing those movies. I mean, Twister's really well paced, also.
Yes.
Like you get a moment
I love
downtime in the
Twister.
middle of the movie, and then boom, back to storm chasing. We gotta watch that and review that because I think it's the anniversary this year for that movie, isn't it?
True story. When I was a kid, I had the soundtrack to Twister
Oh, nice.
on cassette tape. On cassette tape of all things.
Wow. Does this button work? This button still doesn't work.
But I love that soundtrack. Actually, it's very good.
My merch link button isn't working. I hate it.
It's bullshit. Wait,
I
No, it
clicked it.
showed
No,
up.
I pushed the button. Man, I manually
Oh.
did it.
oh okay, gotcha.
It's just like what I have to do is I have to remove the account that I have attached to the thing, re-add the account because I got a new phone and so I redid all of my two-factor. I literally went through each website, turned it off, went to my new phone, turned it on, and registered it with my new phone, saved my keys, all that stuff, right? And so I haven't done that with Stream Deck, and Stream Deck isn't responding, and it probably needs a new token.
fucking Stream Deck.
It's fine. I just gotta remove the SkinSlip account, add the SkinSlip account, go through the process of logging all the information in, and it's good to go.
That's what I am very scared of. Not very scared, but not looking forward to about getting a new phone when and if I do get one.
It was a pain in the
I
ass,
don't
but
really,
whatever.
really need one, but like
This is my
at
first
some point.
my first new phone in like 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and I had a Pixel XL4 or Pixel 4. Might have just been Pixel 4. And usually when I buy a phone, that model, it's usually a couple years old model when I buy it, because I just had that. You had this much money to spend on a phone voucher because you've been with us for however many years, and so but this time I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm buying a phone. So I spent a little bit of my savings to get a nice new phone, and I want to replace it for like 5 or 6 more years. And I mean,
Yeah, I've had my phone for like 6 or 7 years.
This hopefully will be the last phone I ever own under my parents, on my family plan. Because when we move out, I have to get a new phone. I'm turning this off, taking the SIM card out, dropping this into the ocean. No one's going to find me. They're not going to find me. Because that's the thing, is they own the account. So if I just move out and then try to ghost them, if I don't, my mom's going to show up to my door because she's going to track my phone. She's a crazy person. So, well, that's one of the costs of moving out. I have to consider is I have to get a new phone. Probably won't be this good either. It might be just another this phone, but it'll be 5 years from now when I can afford it. I was able to afford this because of credits, and we've had an account for like 25 years, so shit goes a long way after a while. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked. Our next movie was Invasion of the Blood Farmers. One of my favorite regional weirdos.
Yeah.
Sickies. It's a fucking weird fucking movie. Fuck.
It's very weird. If I recall correctly, I didn't even pick up on the main plot of the story until more than halfway through, which is actually good because, the point is to not know where it's going. The point is to be questioning and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, right?
It's about this cult of
And that's
druids.
what I did. It worked for me. It worked.
It's on Tubi, I believe, if you want to watch it. Oh, it's on Shudder, actually, I think. I think it might be on both. It's about, like, these druids in a small town, and they're kidnapping people for their sacrifices. And that's all you should know, because I really don't want to spoil anything. But it's a little hard to get through the first 20 minutes of this movie. But once you get over that hump, the movie picks up. It starts, like, doing weird shit. And it's a regional horror film on a low budget. Just a couple $1,000s. Everybody in the cast was only paid in beer. So as some scenes, people are very clearly intoxicated. And I mean very clearly intoxicated. And other times, they're fine.
Really shockingly good acting.
Yes.
It's like, holy shit.
There are some scenes with some really good acting. And you gotta understand, they are sober in those shots. But I highly recommend this fucking weird-ass movie. It's very cool. Did we watch Messiah of Evil yet?
No, I don't think so.
Good. I want to watch Messiah of Evil with you. I want to have a discussion on the show about Messiah of Evil, one of my favorite regional horror films. And also, it's been 10 years since The Ward came out. You know what we have to rewatch?
Award?
Yeah. Yeah, John
Didn't that
Carpenter's
come
last
out in
film.
2008?
Yeah, it's been more than 10 years, though.
More than 10 years.
It's been 15 years or so, right? So, I was informed today that The Ward is a thematic sequel to the Messiah of Evil. So what I want to do is show you Messiah of Evil, watch whatever you choose, and then The Ward, and we'll see if they are thematically related. And I was told by my friend, I made some new film friends on a Discord, so now I'm watching like 40 fucking movies a week, because there's like 2 movies a day on the server, sometimes more. And like, I was talking to Helen, my friend on there, and we always have these animated discussions about film. She has very, very specific tastes in film. She's very intelligent, but I just shake my head sometimes. Because she's like, that movie's crap. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to shake my head and move on. I can't argue at this point. But she was like, "Hey, you should. I like that movie. You should check it out. It feels and looks like a thematic sequel to Messiah of Evil." I was like, "Really?" I saw Messiah of Evil in 2021 for a special screening through Zoom, and there's a big talk afterwards about it by some people from Fangoria, I think, their podcast, Dark of the, whatever their podcast is called. I'm sorry. Maybe it's like Zoom Film, no, something like that. I don't remember what it was called, but they did, it was a whole Zoom thing where you watched the movie and then they had a whole discussion, an introduction, and then they had a talk about it. And God, I wish I had a video of that. And now I really want to watch the Ward because of that. And I know I've got us sidetracked again for the millionth time. We're gonna be recording this for like 4 hours, you know. This is gonna be our longest episode. This is our longest episode because it's literally been 28 days since our last episode recording, because Justin was like sick, and then I had a bad week, and then my internet was dead. My internet was gone for 24 hours yesterday. It crapped out at 2 a.m. and it didn't come back until 2 a.m.
Bullshit.
this morning. Yeah, it was frustrating because I had like 2 movie dates lined up, friend dates, but movie dates, and like I was excited to hang out with those people, and then it's like, sorry, my internet's dead. Anyway, everything's back, obviously, because we're here. Right, Invasion of the Blood Farmers, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Most people are going to give it a 5 out of 10 or
Yeah,
less.
I think it's like a 7 out of 10.
Most people are going to give it a 5 or less out of 10 because a lot of people aren't going to be able to appreciate the low budget, the fact that it's literally made for beer. You know? Next is Airheads, as previously mentioned. Why don't you take us through what's Airheads about?
What do you mean? How do people not know what Airheads is about?
Because there are a lot of millennials, young millennials and Zoomers that I'm friends with that are gonna watch this, and they probably have never seen it.
So if you've never heard of Airheads, I grew up with Airheads.
We grew up with the Airheads.
But yeah.
But it's a different era. They grew up with different movies on TV.
Yeah. So it stars a lot of people you might be thinking of, oh God, not that person. Understandable.
It's one.
Especially given
It's Adam Sandler. I'm gonna warn you right now. He's not. He's only one of the main characters. Steve Buscemi's also here to balance it out. This is actually one of Adam Sandler's good roles. Just gonna point that out.
Surprisingly, he does pretty good, and I think it's because he doesn't really play Adam Sandler in the movie. You know, he doesn't do the stuff that he was known for at the time. He just plays the character the way that the character is, and it's like,
I feel like
it works.
There was an era in the mid-90s when Adam Sandler, after all those movies, when Adam Sandler was trying to be taken as a more respectable actor. Then he did Spanglish and like.
That was, I think, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
But he started doing the late 90s with, like, even in his comedy, he started trying to play characters, I noticed. And at some point.
Drunk Love as well, too.
Yes,
yeah.
I was going to say that too, but I got distracted. And then I think at some point he was in those 2 movies and got almost no recognition for them outside of, like, where he wants. He wants recognition from his peers that he can act. And he can't act when given the material and the desire to act. A Click, that's another one of those movies where, like, he actually tried doing something a little bit different.
Kind of a comedy, but
it's also fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, anyways, what's Airheads about? I got distracted again.
So, Brendan Fraser is also in this movie.
Yes.
He plays the main character.
The internet's favorite movie
he's
star.
Like fucking a rock star, right? He's the lead singer of
The Lone Rangers.
The Lone Rangers.
Which is a singular and a plural combined.
They joke about that
all
being a terrible name.
It's a running gag.
Times in this movie, yes.
Great. Milo.
Yes,
Sorry, it's
the whole concept is that they are trying to get their band off the ground. They're trying to get their band recognized, and with the music industry,
get a record deal. Very specifically.
Record deal. The music industry is not giving them a fucking chance. They won't listen to them. They won't give them any airtime or anything like that. So
to put in context,
they come in.
They're playing outdated 80s metal in an era when grunge was ruling the airwaves. So all you'd hear is classic rock and grunge, and like hair metal just went away for like 10 years.
I love grunge, but yes.
I love all those things. I think all those things have great bands in them, but My point is,
So
that's why. So there are bands kind of already out of date trying to make it still. So that's to put it in
Yes.
context.
and Steve Buscemi's character works at a toy store. I think we found out was KB
It's
Toys.
KB
You said it
Toys,
was- it was
100,000
KB Toys.
million fucking percent.
And
I recognize the
she
shell
made
tags.
me pause the fucking movie
Mhm.
at that scene so that she could pick out all the different toys that she recognized, remembered from the 90s. And
Dude, I found that Ninja Turtle Killer Bee like vehicle character was on that shelf by the skewed box image of a sliver
favorite
this
thing
big.
about that toy store was that like all the there was no like order to it. It was
That's
all chaos.
that's how I knew it was KB Toys. Right
Yeah.
there. KB Toys. I would go to KB Toys and the boss was like, "Oh, zone area." I'm like, I look at him like, "What's the zone?" Literally, there's Jurassic Park figures over there. The fucking vehicles over here. We got the last wave of Ninja Turtles is growing dust
Terminator
here.
2 somewhere in the middle here.
We got fucking RoboCop Ed 260, I wish I'd bought, over here. All this shit's, by the way, this is like the late 90s. This shit was long gone from regular toy store shelves. Because for a long time
that was
there...
a big thing about KB. They
Yeah.
held stuff on for a long time.
No, they would actually get clearance items that didn't sell from other stores. That's what would happen. I was opening boxes of stock things, and they were like...
went on clearance at KB. That's what I do.
The thing is, everything clearance was that. The other thing that KB was in clearance. Like, literally, you'd go in there, there'd be something like 10 copies of, say, whatever action figure from 5 years prior. And
Like, I remember
they're
I
all
got
there
some
for
of
like
those
12
Alien
bucks.
3 toys for like $3.
That's
Oh my
exactly.
God.
And then you come back a week later, and they're $9. And like a week later, they're $3. You know?
Yeah. What?
I've got most of my, like, I think... Oh, all right. Up here behind this, I have a row of Blu-rays and a fucking box of trading cards, so I can't get to it. But I actually have a Ninja Turtles those sewer tubes. I've got the Army sewer tube completing box that I've had from KB Toys for forever.
Nice.
I can't remember who I sent the fucking Technodrome Scout to. I sent it to somebody. It wasn't you, right? You.
No.
No. I don't remember who I sent it to. But I sent it to somebody, and that thing's worth a couple $100 now. For a complete box, that thing had never been put together. It literally still in the plastic, sticker sheet's still in there. Everything was like mint perfect because I just never opened it. It was a cool display piece in the box. It was also rare. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah.
I mentioned the KB toys. I knew that was going to happen, by the way. But
Oh, you fuck.
I mentioned it because
Fucking fuck.
Well, this is the kind of thing people want to see from us. Come on, let's be honest.
It's true. It's true.
But because it is kind of important to the story, because the Steve Buscemi's character, having worked at KB Toys, got some fake guns that looked very, very real, which was a thing they did in the early 90s, late 80s.
Like
There was a lot of squirt toy guns that
orange
looked very real, not necessarily extremely real, but it became a huge thing. Like,
when did that
I
happen?
can't believe they're selling guns that look completely real, and people are using these in actual crimes.
So
stuff
here's
like
here's
that.
why that matters. In 1992, they passed a law that said you have to have an orange tip on the end of your toy gun,
Yeah.
or it can't be cast in realistic colors. This is why.
And that was
Things like-
part of the plot of this movie, by the way.
And that, by the way,
Just
the
so-
reason why it works is because they go to a KB toy store. It's an older toy line. That's
Yes,
how they can
and
find
the
it.
reason that they had to clear them out was because
Yep.
of the law.
Yep.
And that's why he
Yep.
had them, because they were cleared out. So they end up using these guns to go down to the fucking radio station and to basically force them to play their song on the radio.
Yeah.
And hijinks fucking ensue.
And major hijinks ensue. And Lemmy
At one point,
gets
you
a
see
nice.
Rob Zombie playing in this movie. At another point in the crowd, you see Lemmy in the movie.
I think Anthony Kiedis was
fucking-
there also.
There are like some major rock stars,
There's a bunch of-
actual
yeah.
rock stars in this movie. Chris Farley plays a cop in the movie at
Yeah.
one point. There's also Michael Richards. And he plays one of the squirt. He's like the
who was
squirrely
the-
lawyer in the movie.
who was the main cop?
The main cop. Oh, I don't remember. He's one of those guys, you
Yeah, he's
know.
one of those guys. I can't remember his name either. Anyway,
But he
I
had
firmly
major like
believe this takes place
I
in the
hate
Die
my
Hard
wife
universe.
issues. That's what his issues were.
Don't ask me why it
Oh
connects to
my
Die Hard, but this takes place in the Die Hard universe. I need you to know that.
god.
I'll explain someday, but not today, because we're going to the next movie. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you give Airheads rating wise?
7 out of 10. It does hold up. There are some moments in the movie that like they say shit that you would not
There's
be okay with
at
today.
least 2 homophobic
This is
lines.
made in 1993.
4.
1994. But that doesn't make it okay. It's just, again,
There
product
are
of the time.
2 homophobic insults and 1 R slur.
Oh yeah,
One
yeah.
R slur. It's a big one. It's a big drop, and it's an insult. And like the person doesn't like being called it, so it's kind of like contextually it makes sense, but it's still not. It's still awkward to hear. I gave it 6 out of 10 because of those things. By the way, it's a great movie, but it's
Yeah.
flawed. Also, you
Very
see
flawed.
Adam Sandler's butt, and look, that's half a star gone right away. Next, a movie I was expecting to like. I hated this back in the 2000 when it came out during the slasher boom, but I had seen some reappraisals for this, and this is genuinely a popular film, and it's Cherry Falls from 2000.
Oh my god.
There
oh,
are so many
no.
people I know that give it 7 or 8 stars, and I just
Oh no.
I couldn't.
Oh, that
I
movie
hated this movie.
was so bad.
It's so
And
bad,
it's so
in my
creepy.
opinion.
That's my main issue with it. There are a lot of issues with this movie. But the fact that it's just extremely creepy and even the name contextualized with what happens in the movie
Yep.
makes it even more creepy.
Yeah, it doesn't make it less
It's
creepy.
like-
It makes it more creepy.
How did this movie get made? What the fuck?
The year
Because
2000
Hollywood was like that back then.
still is
And it,
in a lot
it
of ways.
still is.
Yeah.
But oh my god, at least people will call it out now, but nobody called it out then, clearly. Now I will say I love the actors in this movie. There are some that I wish had not played the particular roles in this movie because it's like I kind of think less of you now, not just as an actor, but as a
Wow.
person for
Wow.
having played that role.
Wow.
But,
Bro, people gotta put fucking food on their table.
I get it, but oh my god.
Most actors
Oh
are
my
working
God.
stiffs, you gotta remember.
So the cherry part of Cherry Falls, the contextualized aspect of that is that the main point, the plot of the story is that there's a killer going around and the teens he's killing teenagers and the cops come up with this fucking brilliant concept. They tell themselves, "Oh, the connecting thread here is that they're all virgins." So of course, in this fucking ridiculous as fuck concept for a movie, the idea spreads around that it's a bunch of he's killing a bunch of virgins. The killer's going after a bunch of virgins. So what do the high school students do? They decide to throw
Oh,
a fucking
fuck.
orgy party so they can all these underage kids get
God.
fucking laid at an orgy party.
I would have
And-
shown up at the orgy party in high school. I'm just gonna point
Well,
that out.
yes, but it's so creepy in context now because it's like
No
this
one would have
movie-
invited me.
this movie is like sexualizing underage people in a way that's really fucking creepy.
It's a bit uncomfortable
really
to watch.
fucking creepy.
And that's probably the point, but
Oh,
yikes all the same. I give it. I honestly gave it a
makes
3
you
out of
feel
10.
disgusting.
Like I didn't
after.
think
Like,
it was a badly
oh,
made film. I just couldn't give it. I can't recommend it.
Yeah, no.
Some
Like-
people were gonna really like this movie.
And
It's
then,
great, you know.
like say what you will up until the end, right? But when it gets
Yeah,
to
don't
the end,
spoil
it's
it. Don't
almost
spoil
like
it.
the fucking the
There's a twist.
the studio heads came in and said, "Well, this needs punching up here at the end. We need something to punch it up." And so there are a bunch of really fucking stupid on the nose lines.
Oh,
Like
uncomfortably on the
absolutely.
nose. Like,
And
100%
just
producer note.
shit that happens afterward, like
100% a
in
producer
relation
note.
to those lines, and it's like, oh my god.
1000% a producer note.
Uh,
There's no way it isn't. I can't. I would not believe anyone said otherwise. There's no way that's in the script.
so yeah, 3 out of 10. Agreed.
Like
I'm not
some of
gonna
my
watch
friends
that
give it
again.
7 out of 10,
I'm not
and
gonna
like
watch that.
I want to know what they saw in Cherry Falls to give it a 10 out of 10. Like I don't think badly about someone giving it 7 out of 10. I just want to. And I mean maybe it's talking. I feel like it's trying to just talk honestly about teens and sex, but it's I don't know. It's just some of it just hits me wrong, and I'd love to sit down with someone who absolutely loves that film and have them explain it to me. Just not because I think they're wrong, because I want to understand. You know, because like I said, I gave Cherry Falls a fucking 3 out of 10, which not the worst film we've seen on this show, but like damn,
It's pretty bad. I
it's
did not
just
enjoy it.
it was very unenjoyable. Next is I Shot Jesse James, the very first Samuel Fuller film, directed film.
Ah, yeah. He'd done a lot of great writing before that for film, but had not directed his own film until this.
And I must tell
Um,
you immediately before we talk about it, this can take if you watch The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford first and then watch this, you'll be rewarded. Anyway, like literally the ending of that movie is where the movie picks up. Literally. The end of the movie is him at the play, and this is how it starts.
yeah. Well, kind of.
Anyway,
Yeah. But yes.
I'm telling you, it's a great I don't honestly I'd love to watch The Assassination of Jesse James like how Robert Ford, and then also I Shot Jesse James as a double bill sometime down
This
the road.
movie was very well shot.
Understand?
I don't necessarily think it's the best adaptation of the story, but it is a very good adaptation of the story.
It's
You
trying
know,
to
it's just like,
humanize. It's trying to humanize a person who murdered a murderer. I mean,
yeah,
like no one's
and
innocent here.
yeah, and I was very struck by the fact, and I think it's just maybe because of the times that it was made in, because back then the studio wouldn't have allowed the same kind of things that they allow today in the film.
Exactly, 100.
So like, um, a lot of the characters that like the house that they're living in looks way nicer than the house that they were probably actually in real life. So it's not extremely realistic, and like the characters aren't necessarily acting extremely true to character, true to form. Um, the people who are like based on historical figures.
I would think that that Samuel Fuller would defend himself by saying, "Truth isn't always historically accurate. Like telling a story that feels true or truthful has an element of truth, like something that feels that you connect with, right? Something true, something that is universal, or something like that, right? Like that's what
And
he
that is
always
one of
wanted
the
to do
things
with
I
movies.
did like about this movie was that like they he spent a lot of time focusing on how much it ate the guy up. It
Yes.
eats him up what he did, and he felt like fucking less of a person for having done it.
When you watch it after Assassination Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, yes, I'm gonna say the whole thing every time. Uh, uh, like he's brooding through that too, so you get the sense that
Yeah,
he was just a miserable human in the sense that like I shouldn't say miserable, a depressed human. I shouldn't say miserable. Miserable's the wrong word. He's just a very depressed person.
and at one point, I remember there's this character who is he's going into the bar singing songs for people for like if you buy him a drink or something, he'll sing you a song, right? And he
Oh
starts
yeah,
singing a song about the terrible deed
the
that
coward
he
Robert
had
Ford.
done.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
coward, yeah. Um, and he's like, "I'm Robert Ford," and the guy just gets
Suddenly
really quiet,
stops
like, yeah, like
and he says, "Finish your song."
scared and everything. Yeah, yeah. Um, but then that isn't the only time that happens though. Later in the movie, they aren't like singing the lyrics, but they play like the music from the song.
Yep.
They're playing the music from the song Robert Ford walks into the bar as the music's playing, and they stop playing the music when he comes in. Like, it's just
Right?
like
Yeah.
it's dead if you don't pay attention to the fact, like, oh, that's the music from the song. Yeah.
Exactly. No, no. I mean, exactly. I really liked that, and I felt like uh, the way Samuel Fuller works is he's got like a lot of he favors like excitement, action, either dramatic action or physical action. So a lot of scenes are like tense between Robert Ford and other characters, and you think any minute now he might just explode, and like
Yeah,
you know you're waiting for him
I
to just
think
lose
that
it.
what I notice about Samuel Fuller's work is that he tends to enjoy focusing on the inner turmoil of one character in
Yes.
particular.
Mm-hmm.
So,
He wants to humanize the main character, regardless of what they've done,
yeah.
how you feel about them outside of the story, and
And he does that in pretty much everything he's ever
Yep.
written or directed. So,
We got to
yeah.
see the big red one at some point because that's my favorite Samuel Fuller film. Sorry, Robert Fuller, wrong movie, wrong guy. I just really fucking love that movie so much. I also really like White Dog. White Dog's really good. White Dog's on Criterion. We should probably watch that at some point. A lot of people don't talk about that one. It's about a guy taking a dog. So White Dog, for people don't know, are dogs that are trained to bark at black people.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
specifically, and so the main character of the movie is a black man trying to tame a white dog because he thinks that he says in the movie he's like it's not his fault that like he was raised this way, and he feels like if he shows enough love and respect and kindness to this dog, it'll change its attitude towards him. It's actually a very, very good film about racism and what it
Yeah.
means. Like it's it got completely shut out of public viewing because of a lawsuit by people who thought it was racist, who had never seen the movie. Like it's about how racism is bad.
Mhm.
Like I don't what the fuck. Anyway, sidetracked. So yeah, I shot Jesse James 8 out of 10. Like I really, really fucking love this movie.
I agree with that. That's, yeah, an 8 out of 10.
I have loved every Samuel Fuller film I've seen so far. Steel Helmet's incredible, by the way. Like it's really low budget, but because you can tell he just shot it in like some fucking field, right? But like, holy fuck, the characters are what drive that fucking movie. So good. And next up, very different tone. Female prisoner 701 Scorpion.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I remember that one pretty well, too.
Speaking of lighting telling the story,
Yes.
being a story element.
They fucking torture this woman. I don't know what it is about these fucking movies and fucking
Cops are
torturing
bastards.
women. Well, yeah. But, like, just seems like all these, well, this is a pinky violence movie, right?
Yes, sir.
This seems like all the ones I've seen, at least, are just about fucking torturing women. Like,
Well, but they're not.
it's a major theme.
It's not
throughout
though.
these
But I
women
think you're
getting
taking the
tortured.
wrong thing away from this movie, though. Like,
Well, it's also obviously a revenge. They're revenge movies.
well, I think
but,
no,
like,
but it's trying to say the exact opposite of like a negative thing, though. It's the thing. It's like it's talk like these things happen to her, but they don't define her character. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
well, yeah.
It's actually
You resonate with her character, but like at the same time,
I find
it's just all the violence committed against women, even if it's not done in a way that's like
a lot of that
trying
we were
to be
saying
fucking.
is because look, the reason you're saying that is because the 3 movies you have seen in the genre all have prisons, and you're saying something that is a trope of the women in prison film, not
Yeah, that's a yes,
not a
that's
trope
not-
of what is reflective of all Pinky films. Some Pinky films are just dramas with sex scenes every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I saw one called the Emperor's Orgies or something. It was dull, but it was well shot, and like I could tell these people were doing meaningful acting. They're doing, you can tell when someone's like doing a good job, even if you're dull. It's dull. It's dull. The sex scenes are awkward. Like there's no fucking orgies either. I gotta point that out. Anyway, I also joined another Discord where we watch a lot of Pinky
what
films.
sticks with me from this movie are the scenes of her like being forced to fucking dig a hole all night long and then continue digging all day long the next day, even as she's fucking passing out from exhaustion.
Yep.
And like, yeah, everything that's done to her in this movie is fucked up.
Yeah. A lot the kind of the trope of this kind of like film is the main character survives all this degradation and gets a meaningful and hopefully cathartic revenge at the end. In this case, I think it's really well made. Female prisoner Scorpion, female prisoner 701 Scorpion. They're all the names are all over the place. I think does a really good job of that. I would say that not every movie in this franchise was this well made. There's like 4 movies, I can't remember which. I've got the box set, but we're gonna end up watching them all at some point, just cause.
I just want to say, like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Not enjoy it. It's just, those are the things that stick with me about this movie.
Well, I mean,
so fucking. It's kind of tough to watch in a way.
It's supposed to be tough to watch.
Yeah.
The ones that worry me are there are actual Pinky films where they shot erotically like that, and you're like, oh, a little weird. Those are the ones that make me cringe. I'm like, oh, this is a rape scene, but it's filmed like a porn scene, and I'm just like, oh. It's like the hardcore version of They Color One Eye, also known as Thriller, A Cruel Picture. It's got random porn inserts, and like the people fucking don't really match the people in the movie, but like, oh. Anyway, I gave Female Prisoner 701 Scorpion 8 out of 10.
I think I gave it a 7 out of 10.
That's fair.
But yeah, it was a very good movie.
Next,
I enjoyed it.
The movie John Carpenter wish he made, Rio Bravo.
Oh,
I say that because like half his movies are just the remakes of the last 40 minutes of this movie. No, I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as
John Wayne.
fact.
John Wayne, remarkably not, surprisingly not disagreeable in this movie. You know what I mean? Because John Wayne was well known for being a fucking
tool.
A tool. That's a good way of putting it. Yes, but he did not act like a tool in this movie. His character was not a tool.
His character was probably kinder than he was.
Yeah, probably. More than likely.
Not to disparage a dead man.
Yeah,
but I just did.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking fuck it anyway. Do it anyway.
I'd piss at John Wayne's grave if I could get away with it.
You got Dean Martin.
Fuck him.
He plays one of the other lawmen in the movie, and he also, of course, because Dean Martin sings a song in the movie, the singing cowboy trope comes into play. But at the end of the day, and then at the end of the movie, it is a siege film, which is why she points out it's what the movie John Carpenter wanted to make. They are trying to keep this guy from getting out of prison, and his family and everything are trying to get him out of prison, and they're defending the jail cell, defending the town from these assholes trying to get their family out of prison, right? And there's lots of fucking action and explosions at well, I wouldn't say a lot, but that there are at the end, right? The way these things tend to go. It's a very good movie, though. They plant very excellent characters.
They plant the dynamite earlier in the film, and then they again remind you. Then they again remind you during a shootout that's right there still And
Yep.
that's good storytelling, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Excellent storytelling.
Ellie just made that a tweet. I'd piss on John Wayne's grave if I could get away with it. Something I just said while talking about Rio Bravo. Anyway, sorry.
Which is funny because like he's not a bad guy in this. His character's not a bad guy in this movie.
No, I'm just talking about John Wayne himself.
But yes, John Wayne the person, fuck him.
I bet I'd get along just fine with this character.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a, I would say a very good western.
It's one. I would say it's one of the best westerns of all time. Of the
I
classic
can
Black Hat,
understand
White Hat.
why it's considered a classic and like must watch for.
This isn't
you know,
revisionist, so this is
westerns.
Black Hat, White Hat. But
Yeah,
this is. I would
there
say
are aspects of it that are like
There-
a little bit revisionist.
I would like The Searchers and Rio Bravo are both in the top 10, and John Wayne and John Ford managed to pull that off. That's with good.
Particularly, like the reason I like his character so much in this movie is because John Wayne's character in this movie is like falling in love with this woman who comes into town, and but he's extremely respectful. He's not like trying to get her to do anything. When she goes to fucking change her clothes, he turns away. He doesn't look like a fucking creeper.
He doesn't peek or anything like that.
And he respects her. He shows her a lot of respect. And
Yeah,
giving
he's an
her
actual
the opportunity
gentleman.
to,
He white knighted pretty hard.
self-defines, so to speak, right? And it's like, this is not something you typically see either from a John Wayne character or any character in a Western. And it's very, very revisionist. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, there are elements that are
Is it revisionist or is it just late in the cycle of westerns and they're trying to do something different? Yeah, that's
No,
why
think
I like.
it's revisionist because that's the antithesis of the message they were trying to tell previously, and that's what makes it revisionary.
So yeah, I really like this movie. The end, the last 40 minutes is really, really, really worth getting to. But I have to warn you, while Assault on Precinct 13 has been touted multiple times by Carpenter as mainly inspired by Rio Bravo, John Carpenter was right and just take the last 40 minutes of this movie and make that the movie. Because not that that's the insult of this movie. Actually, I give this movie 10 out of 10. This is one of my highly rated films. I really love this movie.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. I agree.
Damn.
Very good movie. Excellent movie.
Bro, we're just like in line this week, except for one movie.
Right?
Bad Men, you gave 6. I gave 5. Like, okay. No, you both gave it 3.
I gave it a 6. You gave it a 5.
Yes.
Bad Ben. Yeah.
My brain. I'm really high. I'm gonna get higher. Next up is 1985's Creature, also known as Titan Finds to a lot of people in other countries. This is that Alien ripoff where they like get
Oh yeah.
they get a message from the planet and then they go there and the other crew is there and yeah. This
is indeed an Alien ripoff.
This is actually rather well regarded among my friends, which is weird that I didn't like this one. I thought I was gonna like this one at least a 6 out of 10, but oof, boy.
I didn't particularly like it either. I could fucking
shocked by it,
pinpoint
you know?
the characters that they were trying to rip off from Alien, you know.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
But like, whereas Alien has Ripley just being a strong character on her own and fucking figuring shit out on her own, this one it just heavily implies that the female character definitely needs the help of at least 1 or 2 men to figure this shit out and survive. It's like I
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
where one movie is doing something really cool with a sci-fi concept, the other movie is just like, but what if we stick to traditional social norms in the future? Like, what if that's boring and I don't think
Nothing
it's
ever
interesting?
changed because someone is respectful. That's all I gotta remind everyone.
Yeah.
Every time someone shows up in my friend's mentions, it's about like, I don't think he should have hit that guy in the airplane. Like, look, this guy was bothering Mike Tyson. Okay. When you annoy Mike Tyson, you are inviting to get punched repeatedly in the face. Would I have punched you in the face? No. If I were Mike Tyson, would I punch you in the face? Probably, because Mike Tyson is gonna punch you in the face. Like, anyway. Oh, my friend replied, "You have to shit on his grave. That's why they call him the Duke." Okay, I'll retweet that. Perfect.
Excellent.
You made it on the show. You made it on the show, babe.
Oh my goodness.
And anyway, extremely generic alien ripoff.
Yes.
That's all I could really give it. I think I'm being fair when I give it a 4 out of 10. I don't think it's actually bad. A lot of people are gonna find this to be a 6 out of 10. Totally okay. Totally understand.
Yeah.
Just missed
There's nothing
every mark for
fucking
me.
absolutely awful about it, I would say.
Right.
There are some characters I did not like at all and found slightly reprehensible.
Slightly.
Yeah, that's probably about a 4 out of 10. Yeah, it's a good score.
Like, the effects are great. Almost all those points are the effects are cool. This monster is cute as fuck. Would snuggle. But, like, I'm a monster fucker, so don't take that with a grain of salt. All right. Next, SLC Punk from 1998. We also both agreed by the end of this movie to not watch the sequel. So please don't expect us to watch the sequel. We read the description. And then I read a friend's review, spoiler-free review, and we both went, "What? No thanks." So.
The last time I watched this movie was probably in the 90s when it came out, or shortly thereafter.
I know exactly. So I downloaded this movie off Kazaa. So 2001.
Oh, not that.
I know exactly when I downloaded it off Kazaa because I heard good things. And then I watched it again and again and again for a few years. Like, I probably watched it like 10 times. And then promptly forgot about everything in the movie until we watched it again. And I watched it again, and I was like, I don't remember anything about this. As the scenes unfold, I'm like, I remember the scene. I remember the scene. I remember the next scene. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like unwrapping my own memory.
I didn't remember a goddamn thing about this movie because the last time I had seen it was like fucking 15, 20 years ago. But
Well, my favorite part about this
maybe
movie
longer.
is that it's telling a very interesting and layered story about existence in this capitalist hellscape. And at the
Yes.
same time, like, that's commenting, it's literally talking about how deep and meaningful existence can be, and at the same time telling you how deeply unmeaningful and undeep, like, a specific music genre fandom can be, you know?
Yes.
It's like there's a shallowness to these characters, and it talks honestly about the shallowness. At the same time, itself being a movie that's deeper than the shallowness it's representing. It's kind of interesting, the juxtaposition. Sorry, I'm a little high. Maybe this makes sense. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe this makes
Like, whatever. I'm just gonna talk.
I think this movie, watching it this time around, I definitely understood a lot more than I ever did before. I'm very familiar because of my family's history with Mormonism. I'm very familiar with what it's actually like in Utah, and I felt like this movie was also kind of talking about what it's like to be young in America in a part of the country
It's very strict.
that is very, very conservative.
Yeah.
And
Very religious.
there were a few moments. I think my favorite moment, actually, there are moments that like everybody's gonna be like, "That's my favorite moment." That, you know, and there are a lot of moments that are very popular in this movie. But I think my favorite was actually towards the end when they are driving to like another city. I think in another state, in fact.
Wisconsin or
But
something, right?
along the way, they stop at a fucking gas station, and the fucking, like, the mom and pop who own this gas station are just like looking at them like they're fucking aliens, right? And it's just playing right into this whole, "Oh, you think we're weird" kind of thing, right? And just trying to freak these people out as much as possible. to the point where eventually
Wyoming? It's
they
Wyoming.
they end up getting fucking run off, and they like the like they leave in a hail of
I
fucking
knew it was a W.
gunfire, if I recall
So
correctly.
yeah, they go to Wyoming to get booze because they're state-owned liquor stores, and
Yeah.
the liquor in Utah's a dry state, so you can only get booze from the liquor store only on the weekdays, only at certain times, and all of the liquor in that area is like less potent and more
And
expensive.
part of the story that they're telling there is that the person who owns the fucking the liquor store and sells the liquor to you is himself like a fucking police officer,
Yes.
and he makes a big deal about showing his badge every time he's fucking selling
Yep.
liquor. So like, yeah.
Yep. I mean, like my cousin used to live in Salt Lake, so
It's a movie
I was
about
there for
being
like 2 days and was like, nope, I'm good.
disaffected youth in America in a time when that was very much not accepted
And
by, and it still isn't, but I'm saying like it's definitely different today than it was when this movie was made and when during the time period that this movie was talking about, which was the mid 80s. So
for me, what resonated with me in the past was that I grew up in a very conservative small town in California, in the middle of like the greater Los Angeles area. There's a little town called Simi Valley, little for the greater Los Angeles area, in which it's 100,000 people. It's a small town in that sprawl of the city, but it's very, 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 very religious, very, 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 very conservative. And there's nothing to fucking do but drink, fuck, and play video games, and listen to music, and go to concerts, and go anywhere but stay in the valley. Because you can just go up over the hill to the actual valley and go do a million things, which is what we did at every fucking chance we got. So then when they're talking about how like they're kind of like outcasts, they're the weirdos,
mhm.
and like they'd never fit in, like all of that, like growing up in a very conservative area, all that really resonated with me in my youth. As an adult, seeing a lot how vapid and like fake their
Now
facade
you
is,
realize how vapid it is, yeah.
because like they're trying so hard to affect this persona, but
But yeah, that's
but in the process they
the
lose
being
their
young and trying to
individuality.
discover themselves. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
But part of it is that they in the process of doing that they lose their individuality. They don't understand what it is to
Because they're trying to be a
exist.
part of a club still, but they
Yes.
don't realize that they're still trying to be a part of
Exactly.
a club.
And that's the depth of. That's why I love about it. It's like it's layered enough that's those things are true. It's about misaffected youth, and it's also about how fucking vapid our youth, everyone's youth probably was to some
Yeah.
degree. You know.
And still is, for that matter. Just in different ways than it was
Yep.
then.
Yep.
you know?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
But yes, because of that, I still love this movie. It's fucking fantastic. Um, an early role for Devon Sawa. It was also, I wouldn't say necessarily early role, but
This is
what's
a
his face?
this is a few years after Matthew Lillard did
Matthew Lillard.
Hacker, so he was already known
Yeah,
so as at least a
it was
character
about
actor.
like in the middle of his popularity there. Yeah. So, and Matthew Lillard, fucking phenomenal in this movie.
His popularity peaked
Um,
with Scooby Doo. We have to understand, like,
which is
and he's had a
still to me,
resurgence.
like, it's crazy, but I'm down with it. Like,
Matthew Lillard,
cool.
much like what's his face, Brendan Fraser, has encountered an internet-based resurgence of people having like positive things to say about him and all this other stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
I gave SLC Punk 8 out of 10. I hadn't seen it since the early 2000s. So
I think for me it's a 9 out of 10. I just really like that movie. I like it more than I ever did when I was younger. Put it that way, because I understand more of what he's
I
trying
feel
to say.
like-
with it, you know.
I feel like some of the pacing could have been better. Like it feels like it's clearly an early film by the filmmaker, right? But like I don't know. It's like there's the little things about it that like kind of go, okay, well the filmmaking could have been better here, or that there, or whatever. And so I feel like that's why it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I don't have to justify it, but that's just the way it
Yeah.
is. Next, Way of the Gun, another film I saw in the early 2000s, but I had much fonder memories of, and now in reappraisal, it went from like a 7 out of 10 to less.
To less.
Yes. It's Benicio del Toro
Way of the
and
Gun.
Ryan Philippe are these desperate, I don't know, con men, what's the word I'm looking for? Rapscallion's not right. I would say ne'er-do-wells. No.
Thugs, criminals.
Yeah, but they're like professional criminals. So like they do this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's all semi-professional, at least.
Yeah.
They've done it for a while, and they're working together, like in agreement of like doing crimes in order to make money, kind of thing. Yeah,
So Juliette Lewis is.
but they don't appear to have any deep connection to one another. It's literally just like, I'm a criminal, you're a criminal. Let's do some crimes and make some money.
Until we don't need each other, or like there's
Yeah.
like the Way of the Gun is basically a talking about how that they have like a professional agreement as professionals, and they believe in some sort of kind of code, a moral code to it between each other at the very least. So Benicio del Toro and Ryan Phillippe kidnap Juliette Lewis, who is pregnant with a rich guy's daughter, played by Jeffrey Lewis, I believe, who then hires Tay Diggs, and this other guy are the security guards chasing after them, and then he hires James Caan to go and deal with the problem, whatever that means in this context. Not to spoil the movie. This is actually a star-studded. I was pointing these out because it's a pretty star-studded movie. However, the F slur is said multiple times, and it just as one scene where then he compares homosexuals to pedophiles, and like a very uncomfortable scene about like consent and ass slapping. And how it's okay if a man does a woman, how it's not okay if a man does, like it's all over the place, and it's just like I'm just like yikes at the end of it. I literally said yikes just like that, just big old yikes. I could not even. Holy fuck.
Yep.
By the way, the lights behind you looks like this is gonna be a little dark, but when I was a kid watching Desert Storm, when they would bomb Kuwait or whatever.
Oh gosh.
When you see the smoke rising off the building, I know it's really dark.
Yes,
that triggered
yes.
that memory back there. That's what it kind of looks like, the smoke rising off, backlit by the rest of the city.
And it's
Horrible
all just
memory.
because the fucking lights fell down. But
Yep, and it's all because I was traumatized at like 12 years old with Desert Storm. What can you say? Whenever it was, 14 years old, however old it was. Anyway, Way of the Gun. Yeah, that's the whole plot. Give me your thoughts, and just talk like 10 minutes on Way of the Gun without taking a break.
10 minutes. I don't know if I can say 10 minutes about this fucking movie. Honestly, it's a movie with a very dark view of humanity. There are aspects of it that I felt like if they had been done maybe a little bit better, that it would have felt like a movie like, I don't know, No Country for Old Men or something.
Like if it didn't have like all those F slurs and that whole dialogue, you can cut that whole fucking scene out, by the way.
It
So it's
feels
a scene,
like it's a movie trying
just
to...
literally scene talking about how they made ends meet by jerking off into cups, you know, like, but like it's not necessary to the movie. They could have just said that piece of dialogue and moved on and never shown that very offensive scene.
Yeah. It feels like they're trying to tell a story or make a movie that's deep and dark and maybe something kind of like Quentin Tarantino would have done. You know.
Yep, very much
They're
inspired.
trying to kind of copy that kind of success with it, I think.
Yep.
And
100%.
it just doesn't work.
It does feel like
they're trying a little too hard, I think,
you mentioned it
to be something they clearly don't understand.
It does
You know?
feel like it could take place in No Country for Old Men. So I feel like the directors are trying to affect that kind of comedy, that kind of awkward comedy. That like there's comedy in this movie, but it's not because it's necessarily a comedic thing, you know.
I guess.
I mean, like this, like that's why the the scene when he jumps into the glass filled well. That's not a spoiler, by the way. That's literally in the trailer. I remember the trailer very, very well. Like that scene played for laughs. There's a bunch of other. The dialogue about homosexuals is literally supposed to be playing for laughs. Unfortunately, it's full of yikes.
Yeah.
Or as my friend called it, yikes on bikes. Because there's a whole lot of yikes.
And then there's like some indications of like of incest going on at some point with some of the characters, and it's just like that develops into feeling like it's trying to be a little bit like Chinatown in some ways. It's just like
yeah, it's very
it was
shallowy.
like they couldn't
touching on
decide what
everything.
they really wanted to do with the movie.
And
I
on
think
top of all
was-
that, it's a shallow film.
yes,
That's it.
because they couldn't decide what they wanted to do with the movie, and they didn't know how to say what they wanted to say.
It has some interesting
So-
things about it.
Yeah.
I just feel like a fan of it is in order to remove that scene.
It's just kind of bland at the end of the day, right? It's just a little bland.
There's nothing. There's like other than a few pieces of dialogue. There's nothing that really. And jumping in the well full of glass, which if I made an action movie, I would absolutely steal that as the only reference I'd ever make to that movie. Which itself is a reference to the Wild Bunch, I think. Not jumping into the glass, but jumping into the well. I think, if I remember correctly. I think it's the Wild Bunch. One of them has a dry well.
There are At least, yeah, there. I'm thinking of like fucking. I think Keoma has that scene too. So like I'm
Oh
saying,
yeah.
I think it's a pretty common thing actually.
It's trying to go for a Western, modern set Western feel too.
Yeah.
But I would say there are aspects I like about it. The Bagman's my favorite character. He's great. He's fucking great. James Caan's amazing in this movie. He's so good.
James Caan genuinely feels like he walked, or this is like him literally 10 years after Thief.
Right?
10, 15
Like,
years
you
after
can
Thief. It's
literally-
the same fucking character. He
Yeah.
just walked on set.
You know, had
basically.
had the ending of Thief not happened, that would have been yeah. Thief, incredible movie. This movie it touches on all these movies, but all these much better films, but it fails to reach even remotely the same vistas, if you will. Like it doesn't even like close to the mark. It lives very small in the big shadow of all these titans.
Yes.
I would say
7 out of 10?
it's not necessarily anti-homosexual. It's a scene with a character giving a very homophobic rant, trying to just prove a
Maybe
dumb
6 out of
point.
10.
I give it 6 out of 10. Like
Something like that,
there are things
yeah.
that are good about this movie, but it's not like the whole movie is about that. It's just one scene that was really not necessary for the rest of the movie. That's it might imply that the character is homophobic, but they could have done it in a lot better way. Maybe a little more less offensive. It's trying to like offend a shock comedy type deal, but it's not funny. Just you can do shock comedy. Like I totally made a joke about the fact that it was Kuwait in the background there. Like that's if I played that as a joke, that could have been some shock comedy. You know what I mean? Like, but you just gotta there's context, and like it never got the context of the movie. So yeah, sorry, I ranted way too long about this movie. 6 out of 10. Pretty solid 6 out of 10, I would say. If you've
Slightly
seen
mediocre.
if you've seen every other movie in the genre, it might be time to see this. That's how I describe that. The Crescent Moon Clown, Part 5 of the Bad Ben franchise. Part 4, technically, if you really want to get technical, because Steelmanville Road isn't part of the continuity. Technically, it's a prequel. Anyway,
This one was not as good as Mandela Effect, and the reason was because you didn't see as much of Nigel Buck in it.
yeah, he comes back at some point, but like it's not enough to save the movie, and he doesn't say
Yeah.
"knock it off, goddammit," nearly as much.
Yeah.
And
There's
fuck
not much
off!
of that in it. Instead, we get truly terrified young women for obvious reasons.
Running from a random guy wandering in a fucking clown mask. It's not convincing for a single goddamn second.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention about the Mandela Effect. I think one of my favorite aspects of it, actually, one of my favorite parts of the movie,
Mhm.
is when it's at the very end when they show him the last story of him in another alternate universe where this is still happening to him, right? And where he buys the house and he goes up to the house and he's like, "Oh, the house is ready to go. The power is on." And he walks up to the front door and the front door is open and he hears something weird in the background. And he says, "Fuck this," and then walks away. that that was I think might be one of my favorite moments from that might be one of my favorite moments from the entire franchise. The
Sorry, I
moment
had to
when he
step away.
walks okay.
Because
Where
the
he
cat was
walks up
fighting.
to the door and he says, "Fuck this," and he walks away.
That's the best part. Fuck this, and he walks away. That is genuine. I just want that as a clip.
That's genuinely just the guy every time when watching these fucking found footage horror movies, and you're like, why are they fucking doing this? What the fuck is wrong with them? They're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that's him saying to people who have watched movies like that, he's like nodding to you and saying, I get it.
That's
Here's your nod. Instead of doing a movie, I'm just gonna put this one little alternate universe me where I go in and instead of actually going through this bullshit, I just walk away immediately.
it's literally a reference to the fact that sometimes movies will be set in the same place even though it was haunted. Like, why are you back? Well, there's a ghost here, motherfucker. You know? Like, sorry, I had to step away. The cats were fighting violently,
Of
not in a fun
course
way.
they were.
In a way that the crippled cat was being kept away from her food, and Sherlock was being beaten, and so I was like, all right, I need by the other cat. So like, because the other cat has claws, and none of the other cats do. So I had to rescue Sherlock, and then my dad had to rescue Thumper because fucking Ruby is being a dickhead. All right.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the Crescent Moon Clown, for some reason, a clown looking, I wouldn't say
Ghost.
exactly.
Demon.
Yeah,
like that.
but the clown looking ghost demon thing that for some reason kind of sort of looks like he came from an insane clown posse concert.
No, he looks like a dollar. He's like a dollar store killer clown from outer space. That's what he generally looks like. A real like really dollar store. He's like clearance aisle, Spirit Halloween, fucking clown mask and costume.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Fair.
I mean, we were talking children's party. You didn't want to pay for the clown, so you got Uncle Todd to come be the clown. Fucking level, okay? Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's not good, and it's not even that scary. Like there's like nothing, very little that the character does that's really scary. It's more annoying than anything is the laugh of the fucking clown, the canned laughter almost. Like,
Yes.
it's just stupid. It's really stupid, right? But that does kind of add a humor factor to it in there. So like, yeah, it's not terrible, but
It's not good.
It's also not the best.
Nigel
one in this
Block
franchise.
wins the only 3 stars this movie rated from me.
I give it 4. I think 4 out of 10.
Wow, that's
It's
generous.
not
You're always so generous.
terrible. Yeah, I am. Fair.
Could you even begin to describe the plot of Kung Fu Rascals?
No.
There was a long pause. I had you turned up.
Trying to think.
Fuck.
Okay.
Poor ear.
Yeah.
It's 100 minutes of action scenes and special effects makeup and nonsense. It's heavily inspired by Power Rangers and Kamen Rider, the Japanese equivalent, Tokusatsu and Sentai, very specifically, and Kung Fu films. And it's... I think these guys are trying to get some magical item to defeat an ancient evil. I think that's the second. So I couldn't tell you because it's literally just an hour or 100 minutes of action. But it was good action and good special effects, so I gave it 4 out of 10. It's a bit of a mess, mainly because even though it's shot on the weekends in I'm blanking on the director's name. 1 second. Steve Wang. He's the guy who did Guyver, Dark Hero, and he's a special effects guy. He's worked on a bunch of stuff. Amazing special effects guy. So, like,
And the special effects in this are actually pretty good.
really
yeah.
good, really good. Like, the best thing about this are the special effects because it's Steve Wang just making what he wants,
Mhm.
and there's passion behind it.
It genuinely feels like a Power Rangers, an extended Power Rangers episode almost.
Well, it's very much heavily inspired by that stuff. That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like the way the monsters act, and then there's kung fu involved, and it's just like it's gonna be right up your alley if you're into this kind of stuff. Me, I need a little bit more my meat in my bones, so it's only 4 out of 10, but it's a very
favorite
high 4 out of
character-
10.
My favorite character was the white dude who was there for some reason and ended up like having it turns out he was wearing a wig the whole time, and underneath his wig he had like fucking bleached blonde hair that for some reason he didn't want anybody to see or know about, which I found very strange because there was no reason for his character to be concerned about people seeing that he had blonde hair. But then they give him like a fucking clown wig to mock him or ridicule him, and he's like, no, like freaking out over it. Like, it was just so fucking ridiculous that I couldn't help but laugh. That's the thing about this movie.
There are moments.
It's funny. There are a few really funny, ridiculous fucking moments in this movie.
I'm not entirely sure all of them are intentional.
I give it
though.
a 5 out of 10
You gave it a 5 out of 10
because I am too generous.
Kung Fu Rascals. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty fair.
I mean, if I had fun with it, yeah. Then I had
No,
fun
you're not.
with
You're
it,
not.
so-
You're right. I mean, I'm not gonna change my rating, but I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Next, we watched The Treasure of Sierra Madre, which is actually quite fucked up. Not in like a offensive way, but in a goddamn humanity
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yes, it's got a very dark view of
Bogart's such
humanity.
an asshole.
Yeah,
It's very believable.
but they kind of they set him up to be a fucking asshole. Like you understand implicitly that he's an asshole from the very beginning. Like there are certain aspects of his character that just like you're hoping that it's just something based on the bad luck that he's had, and that like when he's finally into some good luck he'll fucking learn from his past mistakes. But of course he doesn't, and of course he just becomes a even bigger fucking asshole.
I feel like Wages of Fear have a similar feel to the last 45 minutes of this movie.
It's just like it's a movie about how for some people there is no redemption. I think
yes,
that's
a lot. Yes, that sometimes, no matter how good someone wants to be, greed, they just can't.
no
Because of
matter
their
how many chances
circumstances.
they're given.
Maybe
Like,
it's their circumstances in life or how they're raised or whatever, but they can't see past their own greed. They're starvation minded or whatever.
yeah. And that's what happens in this movie too. Yeah, there's a lot of great cinematography. It's a really wonderfully made film. It'll frustrate the hell out of a lot of people. I'm
It was
sure.
frustrating for me, but not like in a bad way. And God damn it, do the thing already. Like whatever. Just,
But it's still a really good fucking movie.
or in some cases, oh, don't do that. No, come on. It's frustrating because Bogart's constantly thinking someone's trying to fuck him over, and the only one who's trying to fuck anyone over is Bogart.
Yes, exactly. His own fucking.
And the problem
head.
is it's a case of perspectives, right? He can't see anyone being any different from him in the same situation. And he sees
Yeah.
his companions as being in the same situation. But no one's in the same situation. They're all in a different situation. And they all act differently. And Bogart is, in the end, the only one actually fucking anyone over.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think I gave this movie a 9 out of 10 primarily because it was going to be a 10 out of 10, but then I remember that they fucking killed a Gila monster in this. Like they
Yeah.
literally did, and I was like, oh.
it's an 8 out of 10
Yes.
because of that. It was going to be higher, but they literally killed an animal for this movie for some reason. Let's see here. All these were watched with other people. Hey, you remember that La Llorona film we watched?
Not very well, no.
I ended up watching it with another friend. It's a little better in my head now. So
Oh.
6 out of 10 instead of 5. It went up. Oh, and then I watched
Are we talking
Watchmen
about the
Addict.
one,
What?
the one from Blumhouse, the Blumhouse one?
No, we didn't watch that one.
Okay.
We
No,
watched the
oh, we haven't
Spanish
watched that
one.
one yet. Yeah,
We
yeah.
watched that
Okay.
Spanish one or whatever at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
It's been a
That's why I
while.
was
It's been like
trying to figure out,
like
is it that one or this
it was
one?
like 2
And
years
we
ago or
haven't actually
something.
watched that one yet.
It's
Yeah,
before we
okay.
did the show, but uh uh next we watched Genocide, also known as War of the Insects. That's the
Ah,
movie with the hydrogen bomb, and then like the U.S. were trying to find it, and the lady, Nazi scientist, Jewish camp survivor lady doing Nazi
yes,
shit. I was
this
so
was a
offensive.
fucked up movie.
There's a
That
lady in
was a
this
really
who
fucked
claims
up.
to be a survivor of a concentration camp, and is literally using that as an excuse to kill people with genetically modified insects. I have
But
to warn you.
it rang
I
true,
normally
though.
don't
That's
do
the
spoilers
shitty
like
thing.
that
Is it
because
did
that's
ring true.
the thing. No, the thing about this movie
Not to
is
everybody. I'm just saying, like, there are
I
people like that.
normally wouldn't. I would normally not do a spoiler like that, but that was such an offensive thing in that movie. It was so offensive the way it wasn't that was backstage. It's how they presented it.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
like I
I think the main issue is that it's like they are trying to paint it as if like this is something. They're making it look like it's like maybe a more common problem or something like that. But it's like it only happens very rarely that like abuse survivors fucking uh, have that kind of a response mentally to their abuse, that they then want to abuse other people. But like, you know, it's kind of popularizing the notion that this is something that happens, and it makes it seem like it's this huge problem. You know that everybody is. You know what I
it's
mean?
this
Like,
movie is very offensive. There's a reason why this has never made it off of DVD. There's a reason why we probably never see a restoration of this movie. Like it's genuinely offensive. That being said,
it's very dark too.
it's very nihilistic. It's got a very
Yes.
dark tone. It's depressing as fuck the entire way through. In every other way, it's a well constructed movie. But that midpoint reveal and that whole fucking monologue and the way she explained that's why she's doing this awful thing, it's awful. It's just really bad. It's not okay. It's not okay. That being said, everything else about this movie is worth watching. So your mileage may vary.
If you're in the mood for a really fucked up movie that's very strange at times,
Very dark,
and extremely dark, yes,
darker than Justin's room.
then
Anyway.
this might be your kind of movie. I thought it was like a 6 out of 10.
6
I
out of
didn't
10, huh?
I didn't fucking
Oh,
hate it.
I forgot a movie. One second. Hold on. I gotta make sure I get all these movies on the.
I mean, I was
list.
genuinely surprised by the movie because I felt like going into it that it was going to be a much cheaper, cheesier movie than it was because
hiccuping.
of my fucking internet's fucking up.
You've turned into a robot officially.
Yay!
Movies reviewed on
Give it a
Couch Fans.
second.
There we go. I thought.
Wait a second.
Sorry, chat. I'm adding movies to I have a chronological watch list of movies we've talked about on Couch Tomatoes on Letterboxd, very specifically. And so yeah, one of these days I'll remember to put the link in the description below everything. We're waiting for Just to return. He's turned into a black screen. Some gray.
Really?
Yeah, you've turned into a complete pixel mess. You turn your camera off and on again.
Um,
There you are.
Can
All
you
right.
hear me and it sound okay?
Yeah, everything's good now. Sorry. So you were saying about genocide.
Um, I felt like that movie was surprisingly like I was expecting it based on the way it looked to be fucking cheesy and corny and not very
Oh,
good.
hold on.
Quite
I'm the
frankly.
problem. 1 second. Okay, my connection was like spaz. It was freaking out. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway,
Mine was
corny.
before too, so
I think Discord's
Um,
having problems, to be honest with you.
possibly. But anyways, because it does like just based on the fucking the quote unquote special effects, the visual effects in this movie are very very low budget. They're very very cheap, you know. So you get the sense from it that it's not going to be good just based on that, right? Because it looks like the kind of movie that you would expect to see lampooned by Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater 3000. I guess is
Genocide?
what I'm trying to say. No, the movie we were talking about, the fucking one with the the, the one with the character that you hated.
Genocide. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, okay, then that one. I'm sorry. But yes. Um Now I'm fucking confused. What movies have we been talking about? Because I'm
We're
thinking
talking
that the internet cut out and you started talking about a different movie and I'm
Nope.
still talking about the old one.
I'm still talking about genocide. We were still talking about genocide, also known as War of the Insects.
Okay, then yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, War of the Insects is the one that reminds me of what it was, right? So
Yeah, the title War of the Insects
title
sounds
reminds
like
me of
it
what it
would be on Mystery Science Theater. The subject matter means it
it's
probably
not just
wouldn't
the
be.
title though. The way that it's shot, like all the really cheesy, corny special effects in it, like come on. It looks like it's something that you'd expect to see lampooned by Mystery Science Theater 3000 or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't look like it's going to be a good movie, but it actually, like,
Is.
the
Yeah.
characters are interesting and complex, and they go through some really fucked up shit. And, you know, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say about it. Like,
Understood.
it goes beyond what you might expect from it.
And then next,
But in a way that you probably,
sorry.
some of you wouldn't enjoy. So
I gave it 7 out of 10, even though I was I would have been rated it higher because it is a very good, well made movie. I'm skipping my own brain steps there. I would have given this movie like an 8 or 9 out of 10 without that really fucked up scene. That just. Anyway, it's like imagine if like in the middle of this like trashy movie, someone just stopped and go, and they're like, I survived 9/11, and they have a whole monologue about being a kid and running out. Like, you're like, what the fuck? You're using that as a reason to be an evil person? You'd be offended. You'd be offended. It's really offended. It's really offensive. Presenting like that, and it's this kind of movie. It's not just, yeah, like it's a B picture, like you said. You know, it feels like a B picture. Anyway, next, we watch Zatoichi the Fugitive, the 4th Zatoichi film.
Zatoichi movies are so.
This one's after he finds a price to put on his head. This one he has a price on his head,
Mm-hmm.
and he kills all those people to get to the hired Ronin guy or whatever. Do you have any thoughts about this one?
Like all Zatoichi movies, this one is awesome. I fucking love the cinematography. Zatoichi as a character is fucking incredible. Lots of a wonderful action. More, please. Yes,
Yeah,
I'll have
I
some
mean,
more, please.
every single one of them has been 8 out of 10, I think.
Except the first one that I gave 10 out of 10.
I think so, yeah. It was really good. Actually, I think the first 2 I gave 10 out of 10. This is 8 out of 10, and it got hearted. This is one of my favorite Zatoichi Films. He's like, there's a price on my head, and then like he gets told what the price was, and he's literally, you can tell he's offended. It's so little.
Yeah.
And then they raise the
love that about
price.
it, yeah.
They raise the price, but it's not enough, and he's still offended. And finally, it's like 16 times the price, and it just seems like that's respectable. Okay, it's like 300 Rio or whatever. Whatever. I can't remember the name of the money, but like it's like 300 Rio, whatever. I'm
So
sorry,
it
I'm
starts
butchering
out
it.
at like 10.
Yes,
You know,
and then it goes
yeah,
to 60,
it's
and
like
it's not enough.
10.
60 wasn't enough
10?
either. Yes, 60, and he's like, ugh. And then like it's like 300. He's like, he's like, oh, okay. It's a really great running gag for the whole movie. We saw that before Genocide, by the way. So
Ah.
we saw that the week that the last movie before we watched some Twin Peaks, and then it was the week, and then we watched Genocide very first. So I was like, oh, I'm having kind of a crap day. Let's watch this. This movie called War of the Insects. It looks kind of fun. Fuck. But right after War of the Insects, we watched Clue, which is a film I had seen previously, but not that.
We watched that. I chose that specifically because I was like, well, we know that this movie's, fun, lighthearted, more or less,
And I watched it for the very first time with you 8 years ago when we did Project Flix, which was when we did 365 movies only using Netflix. Because at the time, there's a lot of rhetoric about how there weren't enough movies on Netflix. And I was like, well, let's prove them wrong. We can watch one movie a day, on average, for Netflix, and we'll never run out of movies. Never watch a duplicate movie, and our rule was had to be something we'd never seen before. Which is where the rule of let's watch movies we hadn't seen before came from. And ever since then, I kind of followed it, unofficially speaking. Most movies I watch, I don't usually do. And only recently I started doing a lot of rewatches. But like before, I was just watching new movies. I kept putting new movies in my brain. Because that Project Flix got me in that mode, and I just kept doing it for another 7 years because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, Clue. Clue's great. Holy fuck. Watching it again, having previously seen Knives Out, and then previously before that, Clue. But there are a lot of references. I was surprised at how many references Knives Out actually has. It actually feels like literally just a new Clue movie they couldn't get the rights to Clue for and decided to do a rewrite on.
I just hope they have even
Not in a
more
bad way.
references in the new ones.
I do too. I hope so. I would love to get any surviving cast members back as a character.
And I would love to see a remake, in fact, of Clue.
I mean,
I'm
Clue
sure they
could be
do it
remade.
justice. Yeah.
Who would you cast? We'll just throw some actors. You don't have to name all the cast. Just
Tim
a few
Curry,
actors. No, he's dead, isn't he? No, he's not
No.
dead. No, he's not. That was right.
But he's not acting
Someone mentioned he
anymore.
was dead, and he was. I'm not dead yet. I remember that now. He yelled at someone on Twitter the other day. You're right. I just misremembered that thing from the other day. No. I don't think. Yeah. I mean.
he might still be doing some voice acting, but yeah, I don't.
You
think
know
he's
who
doing-
would be the Tim Curry role? Mark Hamill. He would be the
He's
butler.
a little old at this point. For
No. No, he's fine. He could be an older butler. Like, whatever. I think he has the right
I guess.
energy.
That would be an interesting. That'd be an interesting
and I would
choice.
give him here's okay, Mark. Listen, here's your character inspiration. The Joker before he became the Joker. I need that kind of energy from you. That kind of frenetic. I feel like it'd be a different take, but I can see that. Anyway,
Chris Hemsworth would have to be in there.
Elijah
Just one of
Wood
the
would be Mr. Body, just referencing,
Yes.
like I feel like that'd be perfect.
Yes.
And
Who would play Colonel Mustard?
Jeff Daniels
Yeah, he could do it. Yeah.
or Nick Cage. I mean, fuck. I think. Nick
Oh my
Cage.
God, that'd be so interesting. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And yeah, like Master Collector said, I don't care about his age. He's just a butler. Like fucking Alfred is a fucking 70-year-old man taking care of a 20-year-old billionaire. Like whatever. Anyway, Clue is great, by the way. Well, we gotta get back on
Yes.
Project. I love Clue.
The
It's
reason we're not
good.
saying much about it is because it's fucking Clue. Have you not seen Clue?
I
Go
didn't see.
watch Clue.
I didn't see
It's
Clue until 8 years ago. So yeah, plenty of
it's
people haven't seen
amazing.
Clue.
Go see Clue. Go watch Clue.
We don't want to talk too much about it because
You're gonna if
it'll spoil.
if you
But
haven't, yeah.
it's an irreverent comedy. There's a lot of slapstick, a lot of wordplay. There's like a lot of little sight gags, a lot of little in jokes in the sense that like once you watch them again and you get the context in the movie, it's
And anybody who's thinking, what, a movie based on a fucking board game?
yeah, very
Yeah,
loosely.
literally the best movie ever made based on a board game. Yes, correct.
There'll never be anything as good as it. I'm sorry, there won't. Even a remake won't be as good, no matter how well we cast
Yeah.
it.
It's very good. It's really good. How's the next movie?
Maybe
The
Nathan.
Rock.
Maybe Nathan Fillion as Colonel Mustard. That might be good too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, the
I mean,
next.
whoever it is, they're gonna need a fucking mustache.
The next movie is The Great Satan from Everything Is Terrible, a art collective of
Oh yeah, oh my
VHS
God,
nerds who watched
that
too many
was
mixtapes.
fucking weird.
So it's a phenomenon that happened in the late 80s, early 90s called video mixtapes. I don't know if there's another term for them, but like it's basically random clips, sometimes of news footage or movie clips or wrestling clips, daytime television. Well, this is all before YouTube, so the only way to share a lot of these things were via VHS tape trading. And I actually have probably 50 of these things. Like, there's the Constipation Camp video. Everything Is Terrible has done a bunch of them. Lost and Found Video Night. There's the R-Word Otron. I don't want to say it. That's a very famous one. But probably the most famous one is the Crazy Dave tape. That's people who'll know. There's that one. And then there's, like... what was it? There was this other one. I'm blanking on it. It was a very famous one. I'm like literally scrolling through my list here because I can't and I blank. Anyway, I literally have. I mean, Justin, I could show you if you want. Like at some point, I have 50 of these tapes, and I've only seen 2 or 3 of them because I just started collecting them. Like one year in 2005, I got obsessed with them. Watched a bunch of them. And then a bunch of them sucked. And so, like, they kind of spawn out of, like, what were those movies? The fucking ones with that are supposedly real death people dying, but it's actually into a bunch of staged stuff. Like, fuck, I'm blanking on it.
Video nasties.
No,
that's not.
that's a classification deal.
Snuff tapes.
No, these aren't snuff tapes. I'm just blanking on it. It's a Mondo tape specifically, but there's these like that, like it's a collection of like news clip footage, and then a bunch of like made up shit, and then there's like this culture of trading like weird clips. You get like some of these tapes, these mixed tapes were like the only way someone saw Japanese game show clips and weird talk show stuff from other countries and stuff that now you just find it goes viral randomly on the net. All right, like before that were these video mixtapes. Before the internet was video mixtapes, and The Great Satan is in the grand tradition of video mixtapes. Found footage from various VHSs that they looked at, a lot of promotional tapes, training videos, infomercial tapes, Christian junk. I love the Christian junk. Some of my favorite stuff. Satan
It's the
Unmasked.
creepiest shit too. It's really genuinely the creepiest.
One of these days, we're gonna do a special episode. I'm gonna sit you down and make you watch some of these like Christian propaganda videos.
Oh my God!
It's some of them
Why
weird
do you
shit.
want to torture me? Why do
No,
you want to torture
it's
me?
fascinating. It's strange. It's full of complete nonsense. They walk through this staged area in one of them, like, oh, here's a pentagram. Well, this is actually a pentacle, but usually you find a pentagram. They fucked up on the set decorating, and the fucking expert had to correct them because they fucked it up when they set up the whole setup. Like, things like that. It's just bizarre. And you definitely have to watch Satan Unmasked Part 1 and 2, and probably the High Tops musical with me, and a few other things. I think, like I said, when we move out and we're living together and we can afford to, we have time to, like, oh, you're taking a break for 2 hours from work, we'll record some short thing for the YouTube thing, and then you go back to work or whatever, or you're done, it's 3 in the morning, we're going to watch some weird shit and record our reactions to it. We're going to do some weird, fun shit here on on Twitch and YouTube. So I have plans. We'll see how it works out. All just depends on how much work Justin and I have to do to keep the lights on. Great Satan. Great. I got sidetracked. Everything's terrible. They do live shows. You can go see them live, and they have like skits and clips, and they do talk about the clips and all sorts of stuff. So it's a whole production. But they also release these video mixtapes. Great Satan you can find on Tubi, and I'll keep going back to it. All of them have to do with like Satan in some way. In fact, there's a bunch of stuff from Satanism Unmasked and a few of these other things I've seen. I was like, yeah, I have that tape. I've seen that tape. So, did you have any recollections from this at all? I know I just talked forever on this.
Just that it's like crazy. It's a fucking crazy, ridiculous movie, I guess. It's like
I mean, there's no narrative through line. It's just literally random clips. Some clips play off each other. Some lead into each other. Some unintentionally reference other clips in the video.
It's creepy. It does have. There is, I would say, there is not a plot per se, but like they will go from talking about one thing to talking about another thing. And it's like there is a connection between the two things that they end up talking about, right?
Right.
And there's a connection between this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. It's just that it's not a fucking story, right?
Right. And sometimes it's just non sequitur clip because there's no way to fucking link some of that shit to anything.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck?
Yep. And that's very strange. And some people are gonna see that kind of shit and be like, "What the fuck?" And other people are gonna be really into it. Think it's weird but cool. And I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, that's interesting, but not my thing.
There are two kinds of people who are gonna watch this. People are gonna watch this and go, "This is boring," and some people are gonna watch this and go, "This is fascinating." I'm the person who says it's fascinating because it's always like, wow. And the fact that I've seen them. They have Everything Terrible people have 2 shows, Cartoon Saturday Mornings or whatever, where they talk about cartoons, and then they have like a regular show about these weird finds that they have, kind of similar to their live show, but they started during the pandemic on their YouTube. So a lot of these clips, I'm like, hey, I remember that clip. I've seen that clip because I watch a show on a semi-regular basis. I wouldn't say I'm a religious watcher. Oh, my favorite thing that they did, the 2 guys who run Everything Is Terrible and on the YouTube and all that, they made these 2 fake strongmen called Smash and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they got on actual news broadcasts selling themselves as strongmen, and then they get there and they do the most mundane things, breaking pencils, lifting milk jugs, like nonsense. They were there to literally waste time. They got sued. Famously, they got sued by 2 or 3 of the news stations for false representation of person, but they didn't represent falsely anything about themselves. They just didn't. The people who booked them didn't do enough research. I think it's Chop and Steal. Anyway, great guys like to watch their show. You should just Google YouTube. Everything Is Terrible. You'll go just watch some of their stuff. It's good shit. And I definitely recommend newer episodes to the older ones, even though you won't get all the inside jokes. I don't get all the inside jokes, but they're newer. The last 6 months of shows have been like real bangers, and they're literally on they're like, when like us here on the show, how we're fucking recording for 2.5 hours about nonsense. Like we're on a roll. We got our deal done. We have a format. We stick to it. By stick to it, I mean our format is we get sidetracked all the time. But like they've perfected their show. It's just really entertaining. And way organized, better, and probably more sensible than my fucking ramblings. Anyway, I gave Great Satan 10 out of 10. It's everything I love in these kind of things.
Wow.
It's okay.
I gave it like a 5 out of 10.
Damn.
Because it's very fucking strange. Not exactly my thing, but I didn't hate it either.
Wait until you have to watch the Crazy Dave tape with me. We do a review of it.
Oh, God.
We're going to do a commentary for the Crazy Dave tape. No one does commentaries for these fucking things, so we're going to do a commentary. Hell, I think I can actually potentially just use the actual Crazy Dave tape, censoring the nudity, and just show the video, too. I'd have to go through and edit it. Anyway, now I'm done talking 15 fucking minutes about the history and everything else about my hyper-focus on video mixtapes. We also watched In the Heat of the Night. We saw They Call Me Mr. Tibbs scene. I gave way more energy and he gave way more passion. That's why he's the actor and I'm not.
Sidney Poitier.
He's a great fucking actor.
In the Heat of the Night was fucking fantastic.
What an incredible fucking movie.
Really good movie.
Truly incredible, honestly.
Yeah, one of the best that I've seen on the subject that it's clearly talking about. Especially for that time period too. And even from the beginning you could tell like something fucking fishy here, It's just something about what's happening here that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And just like these hints to things that were actually happening at the time. Not really saying it out loud, but
sometimes it is, but
sometimes saying it out loud. But like, for instance, the reason they pull him in to begin with is that he's sitting at a train station waiting for the midnight train out of town.
Guilty of waiting while black.
Waiting while black, but the implication there also is like this is a sundown town.
Yes, because they're gonna drive him to the edge of town. They also look. There was some heavy implication that guy was gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah,
because that happens sometimes.
Yeah,
but then he found out he was a cop, and he's like, "Fuck." You could literally see like he's like, "Fuck." I was gonna have some. He's either gonna beat him up or whatever, but like he can't now. He's a fucking cop. Mm-hmm. Now he's got a sense of loyalty to some degree to a fellow cop, to at least double check to make sure he's a cop and not fucking kill him or beat him up and leave him on the edge of town or whatever, right? My favorite part is he's in the Sidney Poitier is in. I'm not saying his name entirely correct. Is in a jail cell and he tells the sheriff like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be on the midnight train out," and he's like, "There's no midnight train." 13 seconds later, the train is heard honking at the station. It's midnight. That's my favorite fucking moment. And he's like, "Well, he's got to keep." My favorite part is the thing about this is the sheriff has racism. He's not necessarily always wanting to be racist, right? He's not intentionally wielding his racism. His racism is subtle most of the time. Mm-hmm. Learned behaviors.
Yep.
For a lot of time, I should say, regardless of the implication to the opening. And so he's multiple times he says one thing based on his racist beliefs, and then Sidney counteracts him with facts, and he's immediately or shortly after proven correct. Sidney is. I'm not gonna butcher his last name anymore.
Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs, thank you.
Mr. Tibbs.
I couldn't remember his name for some reason, even though I said call me Mr. Tibbs. I literally said that and forgot it.
I think my favorite part is that the investigation at one point leads Tibbs to go out to the to basically it's a plantation. It's a plantation.
Not anymore.
It
It's a
really
former
is.
plantation, but
Right?
now it's
They're
the
I'm
rival.
Sorry, they're sharecroppers.
It's
now.
the rival of the the murder or the victim. Okay, so he's number one. It's suspect number one, and he goes
Yeah.
there, and all of his employees are black, or most of them are black. All his house servants are black. His butlers, all those. It's all that's
There's this fucking really
He-
racist statue out front.
yes, with the caricature, the lips, and the. It's really
Yes,
it's like
yes.
oof. But I mean, it's telling you that this guy has racism. He's born through racism, and then he has a interaction with Mr. Tibbs, slaps Mr. Tibbs because he feels disrespected because he doesn't view Mr. Tibbs as a equal, and Mr. Tibbs, without even missing a fucking beat, slaps him back with retribution,
Fuck
harder
yeah.
than he got slapped. By the way, like
And
literally
after he
blasted that dude's
walks
teeth out of
away,
his mouth.
After Mr. Tibbs
Oh,
walks
first,
away.
before you say first, he talks about how if this were just a few years later, that the sheriff would just shoot him and call it self-defense. But the point was that sheriff wouldn't have done it. The sheriff's predecessor is what the problem was, and the current sheriff wouldn't do that. He just sat there and watched it. He just shrugged, like, and he talked about how he would have owned him in the past if he like basically essentially in so many words. Not the sheriff,
Yeah.
but Mr. Tibbs, and Mr. Tibbs walks away, not even remotely phased by this man's racism. And go ahead, you're gonna say
And
your favorite part.
as he's walking away, this
Tibbs is walking away.
proud white man breaks down into tears because he's a fragile little. Well,
Like anybody who says someone's woke or a snowflake, they are in fact projecting, because who gets mad when you do something outside of their purview of what is acceptable? They get mad.
yeah.
The thing they blame you about doing.
They're the one
Oh,
that's getting
are you triggered? Like, no, motherfucker, but you clearly are.
triggered?
And like I've actually, and I don't mean that lightly, because I mean like they use that word in that way. I don't use that word in that way. We're trying to not use
Yeah.
that word in such a way, but we're using that in context to be clear, just to be clear to everybody. Anyway, this is like that. Literally, he can't even be faced with the fact that he's a lesser person for being so hateful, and when presented with that, he breaks down in tears because his masculinity is being challenged by someone he can't do anything about. Because the
Yep.
man is equal under the law. That's the
Yep.
thing.
And that's what he's upset about.
Literally upset because he can't do what he wants because it's illegal for him to kill the black man he sees as lesser under the law, because the law recognizes them to some extent as being equal, though obviously not in a lot of ways, even now today. Just saying. Context of the movie, context of the scene, context of that specific person's view. He sees them as being they're equal under the law, not realizing that the laws are actually incredibly racist. You know, so like that's the thing. It's the fragile white man's perception that's been shattered entirely, which is why he's crying, and that's why the scene's so fucking powerful. It's the scene. It is the crux of the film, the heart of the film, the point of the film. Ultimately,
Yeah. Loved it.
10 out of
Loved
10.
every little bit of it.
The 10 out of 10. In the heat of the night, 10 out of 10. There are 2 sequels and a TV series with like 7 seasons based off of it. I'd like to see some of the TV episodes. I think the first couple episodes are like a retelling of the movie, if I'm not mistaken. Or directly connected. I can't remember which, but it ignores the other 2 movies, so that much I know.
We watched the sequel, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about that next since we watched the sequel.
Hey, Camel Ion Storm. My favorite camel in Ion Storm. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to even say that out loud. That's just I try not to actually address people via video when we're doing podcasts. Sorry.
But yes, the sequel, which I believe is just They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, right?
They call me exclamation point. They call me Mr. Tibbs. He never even says that in the movie. I don't think, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Jesus.
This one isn't necessarily as good.
No.
And I mean, it's not really even talking as that much about racism in this
No, it's
case.
just a
But I do
standard
think
cop
that
movie
there's
at
like
this point.
it's fairly standard cop movie, but there is a lot of commentary about like black family life, black culture in this film. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Obviously, it's a good thing, but like the way that the way that they project certain elements of black culture in this, I felt like again, this is like this what the 70s that this movie came out, so like again, it's a different time, but it doesn't make it okay what ends up happening in this family, right? What Mr. Tibbs ends up doing with certain people in his family. But other than that, and it's a really I'm very conflicted about that scene, and I'm very conflicted about the element of talking about the black family at that time because it's like this I'm sure 100% was what the black family looked like at the time, and it was what you could have expected to happen in a
I
black
think the
family
scene
at
we're
that
talking
time.
about is indicative of the times, much not so much
Yes.
family.
Well, I don't know. I think it could be talking about the black family at that time too, because there have been a lot of books written about how, uh, you know, many things have been internalized about like with the way that the black people have been treated in this country for many, many years, and they've internalized that and then fucking used it to hurt each other and their own families. It sucks, but it's true. It's something that has happened. So I felt like it was kind of talking about that in a certain way. Um,
I mean,
and I didn't know, I don't think it was like saying anything positive or negative about it, quite frankly. It was just kind of showing that this is something that exists, that this is the way that this family unit works in this time period, right? But at the same time, I felt like that was the one positive thing about that is that you never really saw that in movies or even on television at the time. Well, not very frequently, at least. I mean, eventually you got shows like Good Times or like The Jeffersons or something like that, right? But for the most part, this is 1970, right?
yep.
This is fairly early
Only
on to be
5 years later,
showing.
by the way,
Yeah,
from the
it's
last movie.
fairly early on to be showing
3 years later. Jesus.
black families, black culture in a film in a very honest way, and
Only 3 years.
I
Wow.
respected that about it. I thought that was actually like, it. I didn't like what happened in that one scene, but I did respect the fact that it's
It
showing
was.
black
Yeah,
culture.
it was technically. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's technically child abuse what he did. But I mean, like,
Mhm. Yeah.
it was the style of teaching children back then. Not that we agree with it,
Hmm.
mind you.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
that's just that one scene.
I gave that movie 7
The
out of
rest of
10.
the
By the
movie,
way,
the rest of the movie, like it's just your basic bare bones kind of a cop story,
if it
and it
was,
has pacing issues, very strong pacing
yep.
issues. It just goes on far too long. They could have got 30 minutes out of that movie.
If
It would
it
have
was,
been
if it
just
was
fine.
any other actor, it would have gotten a 6 out of 10. But Sidney's so good in this. He's so
Yeah,
good. He's so
he's a
good in
great
everything.
actor. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he carries the movie, and the movie definitely should have been like you're right, 30, like probably 23 minutes shorter easily. There's a bunch
so
of
yeah,
things cut out, and like that scene
I
where he's
agree.
teaching
7
his
out of 10.
child. I don't even think that's necessarily that important to the plot. You probably could have cut that scene. I mean, say what you will, it's probably the memorable scene from this movie. It's probably the scene probably people talk about, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but
I don't know.
I was alright. A 7 out of 10. It was a pretty good cop film. The acting's incredible from everybody. In fact, everyone's really good acting in this movie. That's one thing I have to say. 3 years later, still got good actors. Well, before that, we watched like 3 other movies, but because that was like the week after we watched In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah,
We actually watched Amir Shervan's Hollywood Cop, and Amir Shervan might be recognizable as the director of Samurai Cop. And Hollywood Cop is basically the template of Samurai Cop. It came out in 1989, 87, and Samurai Cop's 91, I think. So it's like he has Hollywood Cop, Killing American Style, Samurai Cop, that order.
Hollywood Cop is very lampoonable. It's very, you get together with a group of friends and have a few drinks and watch this movie and laugh your ass off.
When
Just
when we
so
restart
much fun.
movie Gangbang, it's definitely on the list. It's on the
Yes.
list.
It's very
Because-
easy to.
I had to scrub all the old episodes off the internet. We get to anything, even if we watched it before, we can do it again because it's all new.
The thing that I can't get out of my head is how much this kid really loved his pet goat, and like he was obsessed to getting back to his pet goat, and like
It's the same
there's this
goat,
fucking
by the way.
shootout, and somehow the goat doesn't get shot in the shootout, and it's like
The goat is in
goat will
Samurai
live.
Cop, and that farm. That's the final shootout scene area in Samurai Cop. It's a mid movie shootout in this movie, but literally it's got screaming guy yelling, screaming police captain. It's got the straight faced white guy, the comedic black guy. It's literally the same combo as Samurai Cop. Also, this is the movie with that is quoted all the time on Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst. Is the one, the Tums Festival. I think they did a spotlight
Oh,
episode
yes.
in this movie. Every day ends in a Tums Festival.
the writing, while cheesy as fuck,
nothing is good in
is
this movie.
fun. It's fun to watch. Yeah.
This movie's a lot of fun, but it's I wouldn't say it's good. I give it a 5 out of 10. Only because it kind of pales in comparison to Samurai Cop.
Yeah, and they're just like there are elements that I just don't like at all. Like the mother character, her only role is to fucking wander around crying about her son who has been kidnapped, and that's
Pretty much.
all she does throughout the movie. You almost never see her with a smile on her face. You never see her emotionless. You never see her doing anything but just being really upset
Yep.
that her kid has been kidnapped.
It's a
That's like her
one
only
note character.
role.
Yep.
A one-note character, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I'd like to see some emotion other than just one emotion from this character, but that's the way that the character was written, you know?
Yep.
The kid, while resourceful, there's certain scenes like the one when there's a scene where he gets away momentarily, right? And it's literally just him running through tall grass and running through the same part of tall grass again, but shot from a different perspective, so it looks like it's a different patch of tall grass.
Yeah, it's the same 10
And
foot
then
by
the
10
same
foot
thing
tall
over
grass.
and over and over again.
Yeah, it's
like
the same. It's like a 10 foot by 10 foot patch of
and
tall
there's
grass.
this action music playing in the background as he's trying to escape.
Yep,
Like,
that sums it up.
there are just elements of this fucking movie that, oh, it's hilarious. It's fun. Watch it. I recommend it. It's not good. It's just fun. It doesn't have to be good to be watchable and enjoyable. So what's the next movie?
Right. Sorry. Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Take us away.
All right. So I
The
wanted
special,
to watch
the new special edition.
the director's cut of Star Trek: The Motion Picture because they just released the new cut of it, the new transfer of it on
With new
Paramount
effects.
Plus, with new effects, with new
A lot of
you know.
changes. A lot of changes.
yeah, a lot of changes, and some of the changes I liked, and some of the changes I didn't care for, but also didn't really care all that much about them having changed it. I get why a lot of fans were upset about those changes, but for me personally, it was like, I don't care. Not a big deal to me. I did enjoy the movie. I think a little bit more this time than they did the first time I watched it, and Yeah,
I've seen
it's an
this a bunch of
interesting
times in
story.
my life, and I would say it's probably not my favorite Star Trek movie.
Yeah, it's not my favorite at all, but it's a good one. Oh. And of course, any opportunity to hear that fucking classic music, you gotta love it.
So
But
there's a
what were
few
your
scenes.
issues with the movie?
Uh, like almost every background's been
The
redone
transfer.
with CGI or alternate shot footage. I'm not entirely sure. There's at one point where there's like landing at like Starfleet headquarters or whatever, and there's this like train and a bunch of other stuff, and all that's fine. But there's like a shuttlecraft on a roof. Like it's on the original one, but the angle's wrong. It's like literally looks like it's been copy and pasted. It's like little things like that. They changed the bridge for no fucking reason. They made Starfleet headquarters different, even though it looked different in that movie compared to other movies. Things like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of little changes.
They conformed Starfleet headquarters to look more like the current canonical depictions of Starfleet headquarters. And I just wish they would just restored the old footage and put that in there instead. Just I don't know.
Fair. Yeah.
Also, there's some DNR, and you can tell because as the spaceship literally goes through space, you can see stars in the background going from more bright to like there's like an aura, so they become like diffused. They're getting like smudged out by the DNR as they get too close to the ship. It looks like I feel like they're using digital DNR to like remove the matte line or whatever. Because the matte lines
Well,
are
there you go.
gone.
Stars shouldn't get so close to the ship then.
But it's not a lot of DNR. It's just I only notice it because I'm a fucking nerd. You know what I mean? A average film watcher probably won't notice that shit. I mean, they might if they heard me talk about it, but. And some scenes are incredible looking, beautiful grain, beautiful stuff, and some of it's just like. And they just redid some of the CGI, and I don't know. There's like a lot of things like I just wish they would have left it alone and just made it look better visually. But whatever.
They kind of gave it the Star Wars special edition treatment, basically.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like what they did with the Star Wars special edition, and I understand that. There are aspects that I didn't like about what they did with that, and so yeah, I get it. I think it's like, for me, I'm not as much of a huge fan of Star Trek as I am of something like Star Wars. And so, for me, it was not that big of a deal, the changes.
It was only I'm saying these things like but they weren't major like, issues. They were just things that I noticed as someone who has seen the movie far too many times. You know, if you're just watching for the first time, you're not going to be distracted by any of this. You're not going to notice it. The movie itself, it's there. You know, it's doing its work. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Not just the movie in general, you know? I liked it more this time than the last time I saw
it. Camp Scare. You want to pass that on that one?
Camp Scare. I don't remember anything about it.
The Scooby Doo one where they go to camp and it's like
Oh, yeah.
all those references. We don't have to talk about the Scooby Doo movies. They were just kind of fun, relaxed.
Yeah. Scooby Doo movies are art.
Of course, all movies are art.
Yes.
Shit, did I just put Scooby Doo on the list? No, I did Star Trek.
Was that that was specifically the one though where I called out that they were going to make the fat kid the fucking villain, and that's exactly what happened?
Yes. Sorry to spoil a Scooby Doo movie from fucking 12 years ago. It's pretty obvious. They telegraph it. He's a ginger. He's fat.
Yep.
It's just
And I was
evil.
like, they're gonna make that kid the villain, aren't
It's
they?
like we all know fat people like us are evil. We're evil people because we're fat, right? Yeah. It's unintentionally fat phobic. It's
That's
not
the
trying to be.
giveaway.
It's the giveaway. It's the giveaway. Yeah, yeah. Next is Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore.
That movie was fucking fantastic.
This movie is one of my. This movie is incredible. It's about a group
Yeah.
of youths who have, they're all
Youths.
they're graduated high school and they're in between that area between high school and college, and someone gets pregnant and uh, it's like it's like an incredible piece of movie. It's like it's so raw. It's shot in 8mm.
Yeah.
So it's really rough. It's really punk. There's a lot of punk talk. A lot of punks are in the movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of elements that actually kind of reminded me of SLC Punk in a way. The party that they had,
But
reminded me of one of the parties from SLC Punk.
funny enough, I think it took place in Wisconsin, which is hilarious. I think next door to SLC Punk. But unlike say Slacker or Clerks, which are the two films I can most closely compare it to, unlike
Yes.
those two films, this film drips of like way deeper. Like I don't know how do I describe this movie, Justin? I'm struggling with words.
It's a very
with it.
feminine movie.
It's a very feminist
Extremely
movie.
feminine.
Feminist. Feminine.
I think both are a good way of putting it. Yes.
I don't know. Some
Because
of the
like
characters
feminism,
are men. So I don't know.
feminism specifically is like a political, it's this thing, and just saying something is very feminine means it's told from the perspective of
That's
a woman,
fair.
and it's talking about a woman's
This
experiences
is the only feature film
in
with
a very
Sarah
honest
Jacobson,
way,
who died in her 30s, like cancer, I believe.
which
So.
really sucks because holy shit, it was good.
What she
I
would
feel
have
like if she would have been an amazing filmmaker.
she should have never been eclipsed by people like Kevin Smith. As much as I love Kevin Smith's movies, not something against the guy, Sarah Jacobson had something to say.
Yeah,
That was
this
a little
movie
more meaningful.
deserved at least as much attention, if not more attention, than Clerks. And didn't it come out before Clerks?
Oh no, this was 3 years after Clerks.
Oh,
But
okay. But yeah, it very much had the same. Like there were even some scenes that almost felt like they came right out of Clerks.
what I'm genuinely shocked
Why
is
I'm
that
like,
this
is
is
so close to that kind of concept.
that
for a film.
AGFA released this, and this is in Criterion. That's what I'm shocked. This is the kind of movie I would expect Criterion to release a lavish edition. AGFA did release a lavish edition with this film plus Teenage Psychopath, and which is like a 30-minute film by Sarah Jacobson, and then she did a bunch of shorts too. It's got all her. It's called The Films of Sarah Jacobson. I don't know if it's still in print. Last I checked, it was like $60, but it's worth checking out. It's worth. This movie just speaks to me so acutely. Oh, did I write words about it? I wrote words about it at home. Oh. So I said, what an incredible film. A time capsule. A cultural amber. Kevin Smith's Clerks, but far more deeply meaningful, in which it is. Both about the struggles of being a woman in this country and the struggles of, like, trying to please other people in your life and also find your own happiness. And there's, like, a listlessness to the characters. It's the same way that Clerks is. This is why I say Clerks and this would make a good double bill as films go.
Yeah.
But wow, I gave this movie a 9 out of 10. This is one of my new favorite movies. The movie is on the canon of Skin Slip. This movie is a film I will probably show everybody I fucking know eventually. You know,
And
it's on Tubi.
like that, it's a very low budget film.
Very.
Like she said, it's shot on an 8mm. So
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be some people who immediately are turned off by that and think like this isn't but no, it's really good. You need to see this fucking movie. You need to get yourself in the frame of mind that this is a serious and important film, and watch it because it's a serious and important film. It's really good.
It's incredible. Like,
I think I gave it like a 8 out of 10, something like that. But
Totally fair.
It's a really good movie.
9 out of 10 is so deeply meaningful to me. So, and I want to watch the short films at some point because a bunch of them are on Tubi. Next was the Forever Purge.
Oh, good. The Forever Purge.
Unless you want to skip it, we can also skip it.
I am very glad that I didn't spend any money to purchase the Blu-ray for this. I kept waiting for the price to go down. It wouldn't. It was one of those. And finally it got released on a major streaming service, and so we watched it that way. And underwhelming.
I would say
is the way I
there's a
would put
reason
it.
why 2 and 3 are the only ones I own. Anarchy and Election Year. Those
I
are-
did like this one, but it's very underwhelming. It's like a 6 out of 10. It's just
bludgeons you over the head with the
Yeah.
subtext. There's no subtext. It's literally bludgeoning you over the head with. These people are bad. You get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? They're like Nazis. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
yeah.
Some of them are Nazis. Do you get it? There's no subtext. The movie is
Mhm.
telling you what it is, and after 7 films, can you blame it? You know?
Yeah, because
only-
people aren't getting the fucking point.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's like this is supposed to be a movie that or a movie franchise that's like telling you these are bad things that we should not aspire to. And meanwhile, as the movie franchise continues to go along, we get closer and closer to a reality that is like this. And so I can understand the frustration of a filmmaker like, holy shit, do you get it? Do you fucking get it yet? Stop this! Stop the madness! But like that frustration doesn't carry over into necessarily a better film than the others that he has done, you know?
Mhm.
It in fact kind of makes me feel more annoyed with the movie because I'm one of those viewers that I don't need to be bludgeoned over the head with this. I get the desire to want to bludgeon people over the head with this, but I don't need it because I already get it. You know?
Like at some
I
point,
think
there's
most
like
horror
the
fans,
anarchy
a lot of-
and like they tell all immigrants, all people of color to literally leave the border, and it's basically just, hey, remember the border crossing nonsense where they were being like a border surge? Well, they literally say the word border surge just so you get the fucking point. That's what we're talking about when we're bludgeoning you over and over and over again.
Mhm.
It's like, yes, we get it. We got the point when you mentioned the wall. We got the point when this. We got the point. We got the point in 5 minutes in the movie that you started to repeat for the rest of the fucking movie. And it's not like an entertaining action movie. Like, if the second movie did the same thing, but it still was a good action film, then fuck it. I mean, Purge Anarchy is still, like, probably one of the better Punisher films. I mean, like, let's be honest. And I haven't seen the TV series of the Purge yet. Probably won't, honestly. Next was They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, but we covered that. And then Lady Snowblood 2, Love Song of Vengeance.
which was another really beautiful fucking film, but like, you know,
The transfer on
Also
this was
has a
kind
lot
of
of
not great, to be honest with you.
terrible treatment to the woman, but at least in this case, she immediately fucking
Mhm.
gets revenge. Well, almost always immediately gets revenge. So, as a result, I liked it a lot better. It's like, that's fucking right. You better stay the fuck away from her. She'll fucking cut you down. You're gonna do it. You didn't listen. She cut you down. Enjoy death. I feel like this one. I'm remembering the original movie, right? And I'm like, I don't know if this one's more or less deep than the original. I think this one's about as deep, just in a different way. It's a completely different story in a
Hmm.
way. So yeah,
I didn't like it as much as the first one. I gave it a
I
7 out
definitely
of
don't
10.
like it as much as the first one.
I feel like
It's
some of the
just
objectionable content was like literally just exploitation without the commentary of the first movie.
yeah. Well, one of
It's
the
a
things I like about the
sleazier
first
one, you know, I
movie
feel like.
is that like she has a stated goal. She knows exactly what she's doing, and
Hmm.
the audience knows exactly what she's trying to do. And so we know what to come to expect, what's going to happen. We have an idea of like, okay, so now she got to do,
Hmm.
and this one, there's not really as much of a stated goal. It just, rolls along as it is, and you don't know. Not that knowing what's going to happen next is makes a movie better or anything. Just that, like, because of that, it's different. It doesn't feel as
Samey.
you don't get to fucking
Mm.
cheer for her as much in the same kind of way, you know.
I guess
But
as a film,
I
I just
still do
found it
cheer for her.
less enjoyable. Like I didn't think it was a bad movie. Obviously, it's 7 out of 10 instead of 9 out of 10. But like,
Yeah,
there's a reason
she's
why
done
it's
that.
the as I said at the end of the movie, I'm like, well, there's a reason why that's the bonus film to the Blu-ray from Criterion, and not the main. Otherwise, it'd just be a separate release. If it was good enough to be as good as the first one. Criterion would believe in it and put it out as its own movie, but
Yeah,
it really does pale in comparison to the first film. But that's not saying it's bad at all.
yeah, it's
Still
good.
very good. Um, Next, a movie that triggered the fuck out of me: Mermaids. Like literally, actually was angry, yelling at the screen a few times.
And I understand why. The thing is, you know me, and I actually like to watch movies that fucking they make me think and they make me fucking uh
Oh well, and I don't.
no, I'm just uh no, that's not what I meant. But
I frustrated you on purpose. Don't worry.
well, I'm trying to get a point across that like I like movies that are darker and deeper and dramatic and shit like that. And sometimes that you're not in the right frame of mind for that, and sometimes you uh I never know. Nobody. It's impossible to know if it's going to be something that's going to trigger you. But in this case, like I hadn't seen this movie in years, so I didn't remember that much about it. But I'm just like, go figure. This is a movie I liked because it's a very dramatic movie with some pretty fucking triggering moments in it.
I mean, for me, the thing that kept upsetting me is
The
Cher
mother.
is the main character. We're supposed to root for her, but she's like so emotionally manipulative and abusive for kids. That was pissing me off
Mhm.
because it was too close to home and wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, yeah. And I understand that. I didn't
It's
remember
frustrating.
that aspect of it, to be honest.
Like there are things
But I
that are
mean,
really great about this movie. The kids are great,
I like
you
Cher
know.
in
Like
this movie as well. I like her uh
I mean,
character. I don't like her character, but like I think she does a good job of portraying the
the
characters
part
on screen,
where
you know.
Cher goes off to do some shit and suddenly and like some bad things happen and Cher blames her kid, who's just a kid, for not being adult enough to take care of her kid. To her kid, it's her
Yeah,
responsibility.
yeah.
And the movie made it a point like that. That's how it's supposed to be, or something. That's what it made it feel like. So that really upset me, like as a person. Nothing wrong with
Mm.
the art. I mean, I thought it was a good movie
Well,
still.
it was set in the 60s, the early 60s, and again, it's another product of its time kind of thing. But I
I'd
will
say
say like
the title's Mermaids. I
s-
don't know if I said that for some reason.
mermaids, yeah. Star-studded cast though, actually. You got Bob
Mermaids. I don't know why I
Hoskins
didn't
in
say the
this
name.
movie.
Fuck.
You got Cher. You did say it.
Did I say it?
Cher, Bob Hoskins, Christina Ricci plays the little girl, and then Winona Ryder. Those are the four main actors in this, and they do a great fucking job throughout. I still really love this movie, honestly. Um, And it's another one that's really told from like a feminine point of view, a feminine perspective, which is interesting because when I was growing up, I didn't necessarily like a lot of movies that were told from a feminine perspective. But yeah, this one was different. It kind of reminded me in some ways of like Radio Flyer.
It
It's
did
got
remind
the
me of
same
Radio
kind of
Flyer.
an emotional vibe to Radio
Kind of
Flyer.
upset me in the same way Radio Flyer upsets me. You know,
Yes.
not that it's a bad
it's funny
movie. In
'cause,
fact,
like, these
Radio Flyer is
movies-
a good movie too.
Clearly, these are movies I'm going to have to watch on my own from now on because
Well, no,
I
just
love these kinds of movies, and these movies just they are
sometimes they're gonna
terrible
hit.
for you.
No, sometimes they're gonna hit
Not
like
that
that.
you don't like them, but like
The way it works is I don't always know when that's going to be a triggering thing or when I'm going to be okay with it. I sometimes know, and I can say I don't want to watch this right now. But I'm willing to watch any movie means I'm willing to watch any movie. So
Yeah. But in this case, I didn't think of it because I didn't remember it, you know? Like, it's been probably like 20 plus years since I watched Mermaids.
you know, the
so,
thing
yeah.
I was having a good day that day, so I probably would have agreed to see it anyway. So it's not like please don't blame yourself for that. It's definitely not you did. You did.
Yeah, you were all right throughout the whole movie. You got upset at
I had to
Cher's
stress
character,
yell at the movie,
understandably.
or I had to
Yeah.
like have to yell at the movie because it's upsetting me. But
Yes.
I'm like,
For
no,
for
you suck,
understandable
Cher.
reasons, because her character
Fuck you,
is
you're a
fucking
terrible
idiot.
mom. Literally yelling at the movie like that. Sometimes I'm not fun to watch movies with. I'm sorry.
I will say that like I like the comedy in the movie. There is drama, but it's like a dramedy kind of movie. Yeah, I highly recommend seeing it, even if you think that Cher's character is going to piss you off. Still worth watching. I give it a 7 out of 10.
I gave it 4 out of 10 because it triggered the fuck out of me. Not kidding. I gave it
Understandable.
a 4 out of 10.
What's the next one?
Oh shit.
Exciting.
The last movie, Red Notice.
Oh yeah, Red Notice.
A movie
That
I thought
one-
was alright, you know?
Yeah, that was a great way to end the night, actually,
Nice,
because
light.
it kind of washed the taste of everything else out of our
Well,
mouths.
it's not like
and-
it's not like Mermaids put a bad taste in my mouth. It just I was clearly not in the mindset to watch it. If I watch Mermaids 5 years from now, I might love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. Just clearly something's up with my mood. I'll be really honest. It's not necessarily the movie's fault, but these aren't objective ratings. They're all subjective ratings. So sometimes I don't like the movie. It's not because it's the movie's fault.
I genuinely hope that you will be in a better place, and that's like the goal is to have you be in a better place 5 years from now. You know.
I would love to be in a better place
But,
in 5 years from now. Fuck.
But yes, Red Notice was fucking brilliant in a lot of ways, in my opinion. There is a lot of CGI. Like every scene, almost every fucking scene is like that's outdoors. Is like, it's not in the actual location that it's purporting to be. You know what I mean?
This was a movie.
Like it starts in Rome, but they're not actually in Rome.
This
It's
whole movie
designed
is
to look like Rome.
movie's on a
You know?
soundstage most likely. Like,
Yes.
it's done in the Marvel set, the modern
Yes,
action stuff.
exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
They might have even used the kind of technology that was used for the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? They have the new thing where they have
Oh,
the huge fucking
yeah. The live
But,
set thing, yeah.
yeah. But regardless, this movie is entirely sold by what's his face?
Ryan Reynolds.
Fucking name is Ryan Reynolds. Thank you. By Ryan Reynolds. I wanted to say Ryan McKnight for some. What the fuck?
Who the
That's
fuck's
not
Ryan
his name.
McKnight? I had to say right now,
No.
The Rock plays the straight man to Ryan Reynolds' funny man, and some people, myself included, don't think Rock is suited at being the straight man. He needs to be the funny man. This movie needed to be two funny men playing off each other. Personally,
I
that's
think
just me.
he does a perfect job. I think he does a perfect job
Eh.
as a straight man. I think he can do the straight man and the funny man. I like him better as the funny man, but it's like I can understand why people feel that way, but I didn't have a problem with it. And I felt like Ryan Reynolds was fucking hilarious throughout this movie. Like, very many laughs to be had. Wonderful fucking comedic elements in this movie. And as like an action adventure film, it was fantastic. Just fantastic. Now, do I think it's the best fucking? It's like a 7 out of 10. You know, it's not a great movie.
Yes.
It's
some
fun.
of my friends gave
It's
it like a
another
5
really
out of
fun
10.
movie.
Some people don't. Some people aren't a fan of One of the Two Dudes, and some people aren't a fan of this kind of movie. I would say it's akin to National Treasure.
Yes, exactly. It's that.
It's a
kind of
heist movie, but not like we have to enter this vault. We have to do this one. It's like more complex and multiple steps. So, yeah,
Exactly.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. Also, it was a rather enjoyable late night romp. Also,
Yes.
we're nearing the
Glad
end
they're doing
of
sequels.
nearing the end of season 2 of Twin Peaks, which means that we'll be going to Fire Walk with Me and Missing Pieces, and then the Return, and then we also started up Briscoe County Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. We did the pilot, the 1 hour and a half pilot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I love that, by the way.
yeah. So it's one of my favorite shows of all
Can't wait
time
to
for a
see the
reason.
rest of it.
Like, I'm trying to find where to stream Legend. I think I'm gonna have to download Legend. Legend is a steampunk western with John Delancey and the guy in MacGyver. That guy, I can't remember his name, but they're buddies in an old west. And John Delancey is the fucking the crazed inventor. In fact, the one western. One of the two Western role playing games I ran, my friend played that character, the wacky, weird inventor guy. Except instead of trying to make flying machines like the guy in like John Delancey's character in Legend, he was trying to make flamethrowers. He wanted to find a way to hit someone with fire, but over there. So. And he manages to make a flamethrower in every game he's ever played of mine, so even though some of them won't have the technology for it. He just gets
He
inventive.
just really loves that.
He loves flamethrowers, like, gaming-wise. Also in D&D, they tend to be kind of, like, really powerful.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to showing the rest of Briscoe County Jr. with you, because... oh my god, Julius Carry and Bruce Campbell are so good together. I wish Julius Carry was still alive, so like right now, I'd be spearheading a fucking like a return special or a reunion special or something like Tubi. This is what you need to do. You need to make the reunion special for this. I mean, you can't now because Julius Carry died of cancer at like 56, like 15 years ago or whatever. Unfortunately. You might recognize him as Sho'nuff in The Last Dragon. Have you seen The Last Dragon?
I don't remember.
I gotta show so many people The Last Dragon. Like 5 people recently have said they haven't seen it. I'm like, oh, this is not okay. We gotta figure this out. Oh, I'm being messaged. Anyway. All right. Do you have anything else to add?
No. I really have to pee. That's what I'm at.
3 hours. All right, dude.
Yes,
You're
3
free.
hours.
You're free to go pee. I'll take you off screen.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Let's see the rest of this week. There's probably no stream tomorrow because things are a little busy. Saturday, I'm doing a friend's podcast, so there's gonna be no stream. Oh, I'm also watching a movie with my friend Amy. I got a message her about that. And then Sunday, I'll be back streaming noon Pacific time, right here on Twitch. Me and my friend Jocelyn will be playing Gunfire Reborn, probably. We got this close to beating the game. This close. 2 weeks in a row, we've gotten to the final boss, only to die with like 1 hit left. It's like so fucking close. We're gonna win. We're gonna do it. We're gonna beat that fucking game. So I will see you all on Sunday. There might be a spontaneous stream between now and then. I doubt it, but you never know. Sunday at the very least. So I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.